say baby I will be I feel pa na you never feel. Yeah feel. But go directly into the conversation. New EP ye kwabna e dia babeto abontin o see a friend God of Restoration. Na Tili wa ha mami fa Tili en chance Tili.
Hello.
EP ya kwabna dia bay. Okay. Or see a friend God of Restoration. It has 6 different songs on it. Mami mobo song titles. Let me say nyuma edi kan ba kon fache me. No on your bapa Christy na a boss anyum no. Second one a friend. The atosumiensa buekwan mami a live session dear and sunya me that's another beautiful song too and our face so adum and set one or day a apostolic hymn 178 and our day enom etwasi. Let's look at this project as a whole coming from a high life artist to say kwabna
okay it's a me dia menti project no but and you know about 2 way say a high life project, a full high life project. So my thing is, why are we promoting it as a gospel project and not a high life project? Because the sound is a high life sound.
But a gospel message and
you
content.
Know why I'm saying that we should rather promote it as a high life song, EP and not gospel? Because he will not win any gospel award song awards next season with this project, no matter how big it becomes.
Why?
Because they were Ghana, and at TGM say one of the things that they use to check or disqualify other people from entering the gospel fraternity is the performer. Is the person classified under the gospel frat or classified under another what I say? But clearly the progress not the abandon. A gospel. But when it comes to the award that will certify to the rest of the world, say yes, this is one of the best gospel EPs. It doesn't recognize it. So why don't we rather push it as a high life thing that it can get more awards?
But is it that so be a high life artist na obo gospel song?
Oh yeah, what?
Na enyum no ebetene which falls under, let's say, gospel song of the year. We share the category definition no na e folly asia because or high life artist nana.
Oh yeah, and that was even a conversation for contention last season. Mr. Kwesa was in this chair and no cross out commoner school couldn't copy jabaye. Say secular artists are doing songs that are gospel. So why can they not be nominated for gospel song in Po? Because if it's about the artist, we understand that the young that review maybe they are secular musicians, but when you take the song, it's not about the artist, it is the song. But the clause that caveat in gospel song of the year that says that the song has to be performed by a gospel somebody in the gospel way disqualifies all of them. It's no matter how this become a big thing. It is played in church. People minister it in church according to the TGMA, which one way or the other it archives the history of Ghana music a year under review. It will never consider this as a gospel project. So why are we doing that?
So do we say it's a high life gospel project?
It's a high life project. It's a sound. It's not.
Say the message of the sound is what we typically term as gospel.
Listen, most of the gospel songs we have in Ghana are high life songs anyways. Some of them, they do dance hall. It be dance hall by the message. Now, the scheme is saying that we don't consider the message than the messenger. What you are saying, which is why a gospel artist can sing a song. There's no Jesus in it. You don't see that, but it is still considered as gospel because of the person. What you are saying. So now we are here. He has clearly dropped a project that under every normal circumstance should be called a gospel EP. But the people that do things that put our name in the history books says we do not consider this as gospel simply because Nipana Autonomy consider the gospel. So why are we also pushing it as a gospel project? Why don't we just focus on it and say it's a high life album and an EP? Because on a very good day, this particular project should be able to win songs in gospel song of the year, gospel artist of the year, high life song of the year, high life EP of the year. I was saying to be more. So how come? I think that conversation we really have to have it with TGMA, because if it's about just the artist, then there's no need doing gospel song of the year. We'll just do gospel artist of the year. But clearly, you can tell that there's a differentiation between artists and then so why is the one we are in the song category? You don't accept the song for what it is, but you want to add the person to the song. And it's a problem. It's a big problem. So at the end, yeah, so I drop away, but I could see baby in the scheme that actually recognizes songs the young that review and keeps it in our history books. It will not be recognized under that.
Asemo. Because me tier project, you know, all 6 100 come in the 2 year page and say tier project we. And I must tell you, in as much as these are beautiful classical gospel music, you know, the element of high life in them and the oh dear, my member a year and you way. Na etie fo nso enhu dia me pese me tre no enyum we kwabna efre no ensu nyame, which is one of the songs on the EP. Ma me mbonche etie fo na wo mo so mo tie, then maybe they can also get that high life element na me so me kan.
Senyina nyamini mu ayemre Orinya ona orimpa warada Oyo yokoba oni shamboda Dibiare niwa esonya meye Asembiare niwa esonya meka Lese ya todie dinia ubejuja jiwo Fawo wiranyina rashe unyami munabeye Ansuniya Ansuniyo Ansunyami crowd obeye Ansuniya Ansuniyo Ansunyami crowd obeye Keep on keeping on Never give up No retreat, no surrender Keep on keeping on Never give up No retreat, no surrender Semina trenya me no bebo Nasansi Wanya waswa diswa Awon komuribu Omra Nchain ome ume Na bibiare niwa Esonya me ye Asem biare niwa Sonya me kawa Atude dunia Ubechucha aju Enti favori regina rashe Nyami munabeye Ensuniya Ensuniyo Ensunyami yakra Wabeye Ensuniyo.
Alright, wait, this the song I'm talking about. Wait, Ensunyami Tilly.
High life song and beautiful gospel song because gospel they a message, you know.
Yeah.
But you see, I understand somebody will say oh artists someone young Emma awards to pay. But let's ask ourselves how many churches in Ghana we invite Kwabena to come and minister that project to sorry. And that is one of the big validations for what we consider gospel here. The song mention a feature with Ozzy Obapa Christie.
Yeah.
Ask yourself how many gospel fraternity for will smile if Obapa Christie brings Kwabena to his church?
Because I think say one of the things that Kwabena can was I think say interview with Andy Dossi, and I stand to be corrected, is how even one more gospel fraternity nimunu frowning against the fact to say we are senyum dia tina we are sinebo we are senyum then as say over gospel money there. But this is I don't think that should be a barrier for any artist at all.
Unfortunately it is. Unfortunately it is. And we need to be I gospel artists for I interviewer. Some of them will tell you that some moto and you might popular a free secular artist sometimes they get query from pastors no say I don't know how to where you get it. So my thing is how many of churches will you see so omukwa no esia nwu minister was sorry and now omafre kwabna say beto enyom e was sorry. Now when I'm saying we can't same way I'm sure somebody will take it why Ada kwapna say VJ me answer TJ me an ka say a gospel song of the year. Why don't we know a gospel? The truth of the matter is our scheme like TGM is a validation of Ghana music. It's not just a validation of Ghana music. It also keeps the record and the footprint of Ghana every year. So if you drop the biggest gospel project, that's a scheme. No say we don't consider you. Guess what? Nominations about Udini. So anybody that is writing articles about that year music that year, your song is not included in the gospel thing. Second, your band or even winners are that night you are not considered. And in the history of music that year and the review, no, your song is not included simply because the scheme does not. And I agree, it might not be that he is doing it to target the gospel the TGM, but it's part of it. It is a big part of it, and I really don't know who I'll bet Mataka say encounter. Now the conversation is he aiming to touch lives with a project?
Well, one of the things Kwabena can United TV was say a bit usamobe do some time be what music career muna say BBI standstill. He was not as active and things looked bad. Now in the time of onone trial na time I walk a year of Febibimuno and the shene can has a move Febibim or Febibimuno or Nyankopon kwa pam ekate Nyankopon say to me a buano e mani fisa tibia we mu na otumi sign release project mani bejane na subioma wo se Nyankopon bo say obe recorded a whole EP and an album of a gospel song Eddie Ashon no Nyankopon din anyonyam. So that is the main kind of say inspiration and the thoughts behind this EP.
Okay, so then it means that first for the first instance the project is a successful project because a personal between Onen and Yami, and he has delivered on that promise. What you say, Ankoya Cathedral we deliver on the promise to God, which means that for him, this project said, "Among for in Tiekram and Baye cry," he has done his part between Onen and God. But as long as Oya or the two abonteno, it means so or person in so acting in your mapa nyame ayama no anything ya ohun nyame do nyame.
Even people to relate to some of the songs.
And usually the places that make this song stand, if you say a gospel, sorry for no. Now will the church hold it as theirs, and now they once again put the person ahead of the message? And no new commoner and also now, even if the church do their parts, that's a kwabna be so kwa sorry. Or no one sorry because kwabna be minister why sorry ma. What about the scheme that records or keeps history of songs every year and the review? They do not consider that project as a gospel project. What you say? So now I am really eager to see a choir of Faso a promoting project way.
All right.
That is all I'm willing to say. But if the intention is for Adio Yamonya Media, then it is a very successful project.
Okay.
Because we deliver on the project, his promise to God. He has done that.
All right. Socrates.
Yeah. Metie Nyumono, I would say is a very beautiful song. Mene Tili Adwin, this is a high life song. And nobody does it better like Kwabna when it comes to high life gospel mix na or yadia. But mo invite no UT United Showbiz no me pacho enyume o say o can say or ye e dia mani Nyankopon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or can say, you know, oni Nyankopon kwa pam bi say wo boa fit to be ana wo woman.
Okay.
Mobe recorded this gospel album as
album of the
like you know as a
album not the bed
gratitude or the bed say
ai mo bisa no
then why the bed say Nyankopon the bed ana
omo mienu nyina
oh say team let's not get it wrong because
yeah so correct
me mami church me enye de ono kwabena kani ba me nti ase amenya wo mu ne say album you or the abeto just send atili kan or the abeto we if I say we are saying now it's exposed to the general public. Now guess what? There are a lot of people la ebi atibia kwabena femu and I say be big koso ma bra bomo some of these songs speaks to whatever it is that they are going through. So in as much as it is a covenant with oni nyankopon wa oni na ye de oni na akwa apama we release a EP amano no. And same way so what gospel ni mu e ka enkronfo nsema momo. And same e bi e do obi akoma so a wo pese wo ka che nyankopon no obenya no wo sa ne nyumi. I have listened to the 6 tracks on the EP, and every song has a message. Some is declaring your love to God. Some is also telling God for the grace awode ayede odi ama wa wanto a wentu yaka. Any baby a wunyankopon wa hye baby a na wo wo ene baby odi wa babesi. So each song has a message. Feature with Christiana Love is talking about how ye de bonniefo but nyankopon ehu ye mobo esa de ye bonni echeyen. Yeah.
Okay. Nti nia wa kyerɛkyerɛ mu nyinaa no pɛ wo nti ase ɛne nia ɔno kaaye no there is nowhere or yeah nyumu wei because of TGMA meboa.
Don't think say any artist here nyum bia or ye ne kasa me here nyum wei because me person TGMA and nominate me for A and A B. Nya make am patriotic ma say but enyum ne beto ho na eye omanfo ne de na omanfo ne fa enyum ne beto fom na afei the general public so accept here, then you don't have a choice.
Yes, I understand
to,
that one.
Recognize the song.
Yeah. And no dear AYK, I'm not downgrading award schemes. No. But me ni say artist bia eko studio ni main aim oko yen say me ko ye nyum we e di age award no wa yiska no do atua studio na wa faka akọ studio ni nyina because of person win award sebi imprend as award ni krampo no win ni po a enye se ye ma osika bi aka ho e de atua bills. No, what must here. But what I know, artists are minimum 90 minimum sign nyina no, when they go, their main aim is that they will make their money back. It is show business. Intine aim no, in as much as onya awards na eye a boost in the business and so, but the main aim is not to win awards. With this song, I think the target is to draw souls to Christ.
So he can also make money off it because maybe so for instance this song becomes okay.
Say so mukotua no obenya ne business ne sika back o win awards ne so and also boost ne maninya the wow factor na man for twetwimba, but the main aim is not the awards. And a new way penny I think the target is to draw people to Christ. Will the song achieve it? I believe say yes. People may listen, they will enjoy it, they will listen to the message, and they will be drawn to Christ. Obi oko di bonibi, oko chase you big girl, and I say oko ya abortion bi, oko ye bibi. Obetie nyum ni nyina na etunefo. What am I say? Na wejai. I think that is the focus of kwabna. Pe ni awokan no. Say ya manyame because nyankopon monyum ni CD player na say streaming platform bi oko streaming nyum we also. But ye e di ahye nyankopon adwuma ni mu kena. Inti na believe say nyum no betimi achieve that. I'm also happy that he chose the high life genre not they are propagating the message, I'm so happy, and I think say God will bless him. What bless you, Jumano Swamanako.
All right, it's here for Yanfan Komowe NCR. This is the latest EP a year kwabna ho see a friend God of Restoration. And I would way ababetumu na yebe twa a year ye jumediene so yebe twa ye jumediene so it's for.
kata o. Say I don't be a man ya. Mantamenti akata o. Adi ajami ko. Yami unu me mopo wa makoma atoyem. Yami ebi amami o obra kwento emo. Yeah, agamani da so ina sao. Nini ojifubiara kosisa mishia odomaguma yehowa wabana dum busu amabio adum bi abenya me drebe bi ana bi fre ani bi abentura no kwa magasa onya bi amabio aye bi amabio adi dem feature and them so ba fie adum bi amenya kata o. Adi ajami ko. Aye manto. Suna yesu nyanimyo wamana adum ye busu amamyo adum bi amanyaya amenyina mumra mesha zerazayo mianka mfata mianka mesasho adini moja tomyo amameso masebie Adini moja tomio ama meso masebie Adi dem feature ama meso mabefie Adini moja tomio Simama yenyina momi yanka sonya me odumfo Mama yenyina momi yanka sonya me on the other fucking
entertainment review.
And then let's go button some
entertainment review. Entertainment review.
Entertainment review. Ghana for my Yamana fans.
Higher Peace 104.3 it's here for 55 minutes after 1 entertainment review na wasugusu awutie yebeto adwumedie no so na obviously yebeko social media and then come be play social media ne so concerning Emma omo industry mu eya kwakwa ye say wo ba bia twiniti a general public no e wo bibia ye ka fa no ho eto de bia ye kan sem bia emfata edibu o mabem ye free bibi body shaming. And say, Oba edi ne ho ebesi ho se wo obonyum na enwum tuo ni mu sabio ne ntare a wo be hya wo de bebo ne nwum se ne obe kare ne ho ne ade no eya na mpempi omanfo no etumi atwe mai Israel ne abase didi wo matem ka chom se na ho nye fe uye se ye ni se na se mu moli a wo ye ababa wa or Trinity PA entertainment industry munche ye pa we releasing you ma be one of the world's biggest hits uko wi asia fana baby a enwumi wo ha chese edge ne samba e wo top chart so ne ade shake it to the max abai we eba ye wo hwe ne entire hyemu na wo ko ne stage a waje ne mini skirt kakra ne crop top kakra wa ma oni boot bi na wo hwe wo ba ho nampa ne se ne abai we hu ofe ne kokwa na wo hwe se senya bai we beyi ne sra ho ne ade o de perform stage Ghana for some nti ase na kwakoya atem didie ni ye di girl ya tem ni ye twi na bo so e na wo ye say moli ababa be kasa wo say senya Ghana for mo body shaming no the more you body shame her the more she will pull up with sexiness Ghana for say the skirt wo hye ne swadodo na ya na etoda bia ya na ne to ase egu ho kakra anso me ya me oba ameti hai se me hwege yi pa ne se ne wa dress ya wo gina stage so bibia ya kama na se be o wo hwa wo ba yi sira chikura efe kura se I say well when the shame so ede ne ho ababa bajimu kakra de che say when the shame etwitwa ne videos a wo posi amanfo se when the shame akwa ye amanfo bibi ya oyibi say wakwa ne fact di ababa be hye ne to ne fa hin ko ha na when the share say Ghana for mu jobo papa dia na mu ye mu hui when the share say enti mo pese mo kire me say ansa na bibi obebe wi ase no na Africa for ye ni ma sabio wo mu sisi fia ne wo mu hips ne wo mu body ejira so ana o say ye dia ni bibi o tag ya mo pese mo de to ne so by force aden why kese kakra chese we gaining weight at the right places in tino munina mo se wakwakoye BBL when the share say mon get your life na munya ise mo ye naive no nia mu hu woni hu bia eye 100% natural efi na pempem ebesi ne nase bibia ye natural me kai say when the share ba ye na amanfo twi na bo so amanfo di sister yatem edumukra ka sese bi onyum to a wo bo na fa enko ba bia enkosi hui na so ene ye bo eye Ghana first 5 female artists I want to mean you when the shame film. So what we want to understand today is that adentina na especially a man wo mo ba ye to me body shame wo mo sase ye pese ye kan mo hye ye pese ye be mo express yo mo ho ana tili akoye oba de me ne no ebe hye nkomo yase me microphone so no e wo on tili
so moli sisi ya problem na media de omo ho mbedwa o course media ma hye miniskers awie yi ma hye hot pa me supra me na asa ya me ya e na me togo so ti hu a o blood pressure ko so say say asa bebe na one. Listen, I think some people have to let people be our country. There are emra a govern as a nation. If somebody does something that we consider indecent exposure, me sure say emra ho it me a holding the panel says we're exposing in a way that we don't consider it Ghanaian, and I say your culture no does not appreciate it until the famra kwaso. I thought an emra kwaso no, you don't have the locals to go and tell somebody say or no dressing no because we won't dresses I will feel it no or no for we will dress and I will dress will feel any yardstick of dressing. Like how dare you? Like why? Let people be, especially our creatives. Most of in Crawford, most area, I don't like this, no. They are the ones that watch Nicki Minaj videos. Or Mona Moshe Cardi-B videos. And to why can't an artist, and I'm sure say even you has a Ghana, most of our artists, no, because they know the cultural values they were hunting, they don't even go to that extreme level. So they don't go to the extreme. Yeah, some of them you're exposed there, but they never go that extreme because they know say Ghana for no in as much as you can say, oh, you need we still have our cultural limits on certain things. And American indecent exposure is a problem. So if you're not using the law And if you cannot go and prove to the courts of competent jurisdictions and a dressing is considered inappropriate, why do you think it is okay for you to sit online and tell the person that? What you are saying? If you have a problem, take her there. Say the dressing, I often do near funny and but you don't sit at home and become a keypad warrior and think say utifie air to a young because of be dressing. Now Molly I can say I've seen her dressing. What is their problem? Because me
the minimum de mehu.
No she bikini.
There be any bikini. On say you super mini skirts be a ma back cheeks no a show kakra. But I didn't say efe.
Na bio na any fempo. Sa super mini skirt no. Is it banned in Ghana? Super mini skirt is it banned in Ghana? Artists can they not be allowed to wear it? If they can be allowed, and most of us, yes, mini skirt and then me promise and then musha what the woman shall junction. My mini skirt hot black. Ain't more how on saying. What you say? So I think that something you cannot tell somebody in their face. Sometimes try dream whom you know if it's against the laws of the land, fane cocked. No, but if it is not, it means that you cannot use your standard of dressing and your standard of morals for somebody because Ghana people be almost some way decent so almost dress a crying me fe. So me too, how do I miss me better be sure because what I now watching and you me fe or dressing you me fe or color matching the air tire. How would you also take it? Do you get it? Let's allow people to be. The dressing does not affect you in any way. What you say? It's not harming her. Me a psychology was school. In psychology, what we consider as abnormal is something that say offending, affecting a panel, affecting another person, and that's affecting community. How does Molly's dressing affect you as a person, or affect her, or the community? And if the community has a problem, there is a law court that addresses it. Until you take that person there, let people be. Now, when the share come on, so and another thing, I think I said it this morning. I'll repeat it. Say, yes, it could be anybody. I don't know. God has blessed some people in that way. And now, I will not be oblivious to the fact that I have seen when the share in the past really working out. When the share works out a lot, especially treadmill, and then a twin, so maybe a pressure level, we be no so. But I think the people who are asking questions say, ask what baby no. Sometimes because of the way we also know the human anatomy too, we bisa questions. Today, Betty me bisa say, have you tucked your stomach? Because say about Kesia doesn't reflect only on the buttocks, it reflects on other parts. So for every other part of you to be toned and then your buttocks they pen quadia, then people can ask. But I don't have to do BBL to get that type of body. I can just tuck my tummy in and I'll get that body. What you say? And to know, they should just allow people to be. Once again, how does her tummy tucking or her BBL affect you? Does it affect her? No. Does it affect you? No. Does it affect the community? No. Let people be. Ghana for your dream phone to what you to ohiasi no. You to ohiasi because your dream phone. How does when they share to now or they trying is too late video how? As a matter of fact, she gets more having that kind of buttocks as a female artist. And
and then we'll share some of your take somebody like Sefa. Obi to say if sister Fia. Wine podium. Hajia for real.
Yes.
Then when the shade.
Yes.
These are artists that make us say woman naturally or unnaturally no.
Yes no.
Omu body physique no.
Yes, now me say me wo sika kakra, ke bia menya bi. Yes, no prayer. And it's not it will not be some akoya meto. It will be say maybe here. What you say? Ama other parts na afele, gaps na afele. If I mean it's a canteen, I say, Sabe, me manage me weight to say ano. But me sika, I will eat heavy. Me to be shame, like everything will be fit and proper. And I will get somebody, a trainer who will train me. I'm sitting at I fiance at Chando quite hip stand home a bar. Heavyweight champion pa. You get it? So I don't for them. It's so great. The first time I see maybe doesn't mean the way I'm looking at me, I'm feeling bad. But the truth of the matter is, what they are doing, how does it affect you? As a matter of fact, for a moment to man, they need that kind of physique more to sell or my dear.
I see a mom that's sexual appeal.
Now me cry side to be coming that bensimu. Say come that bensimu.
And as I say, we are banana ukra to sa unya bensi free.
Banana to na uni bensa uni do to.
Queer.
I don't want to cook now. No, I'm from it. No, but you get it. For their line of work, what their physique is appropriate. I don't think. Oh, there. If you know to even. Yes, sister. For no more gospel. See how now they hold themselves. See how they manage themselves, because they know say I know. She Dinah someone kwa broche by no. See how now she carries herself. When who say a tumano and yet and you are selling an entire personality. And to walk with gospel artist, what has acquired secular put the I say I am more. But you see, we don't also want to say things that it will make people feel like they are encouraged to do whatever they can to look a certain way. But if or no, or say I have not done it, what is your problem? And even if she has done it and she's not willing to own up to it, what is your problem? That is my question. What is your problem?
Okay. Yao.
Okay. I can see the headline
Media, my dream, yeah. I think similar instance happened with the so comments he was on platform.
Right.
Yeah, a room moliso.
The sex, Tilly.
As I say, a room molly new when the shares, no. Say, Mamma started when the shares, only when the share from the beginning. Because you'll be now or hips. I know they're never, I think we're very prominent from or start here. And I ain't mean because all these years. There's no addition or subtraction, especially where gym works. They name the Oko gym now or exercise so muscles now. A build it fine. In fact, you're very Bramako gym or Mako build on my backside for whatever reason here on Mako gym. And know also for Molly, I think say at a real professor Beshano, the ocean. In fact, me share Molly and make any other comment. Into I say, or mom make a comment. Neither say or me are jealous and I say. Or more major maintina, I'm more how more.
Hey,
Ampa, because one show be now we jam my answer. Yeah, I don't have a comment to say how because some vessel shed there. Then Yamadum, your gospel artist, baby, with me call Esther Smith Peso, with me call a Newman Peso. In fact, it's your empress, your empress, cries, you say, I should share. In Tian, she can't no commerce and become once. What you see? Into my mom, a Sicilia Mafum, or mom share up and down out in the street. Almost me call no macoche. And you by force so be molly dear, and I be sure in the shade because in Bano more in that cinema, got more bread dough. Or more bread opportunities named also. Now, a cacrana, a making a big so. They be a tata or more dresses a bear, mom, got say what dress a bear. Dresses a horse or my dress, you take your money, then no money.
Can I say Jackie? Ebaye, Jackie style of dressing, so ebaye a conversation. People were of the opinion say, and Jackie had no dresses say or dresses say. She says one mama sexiness kakra musi say. Usha said ya sefa to me packaging no pa no be gina stage. Oh, you mean ya the crowd be personality. It's aden.
Oh, aden you. So no crania me nim no mo kohwe so mo nyo mani o. Omo to aso hwa omo kasa ni na no mo hwe no mo like no mo comment no ma omo san twen new video no mo hwe no ma like no ma send you comments omo what you say omo ntimi yo mani enti na me ka say edwaman huhum na ewo mu no na esi etu free because they no free wha sa comments so ye entant.
All right. Socket
Pacho lady no or Ghana name Molly no.
Ghana American.
Ghana American.
Yes.
From which part of Ghana?
I don't know.
Mumisai. Because the name no me because mini Molly a year incredin.
Well, I think the Molly and a be American. But I think Papa na American.
Oh, okay. Into I have cast.
Yes, I have cast.
Oh, okay. Okay. Also, young Canadian, I mean, say naturally born big in terms of size. Or also kakra.
Oh, wait.
Oh, now so get to Molly.
Bacho Debbie.
Oh, really?
And is that a crime?
Oh no, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I'm just asking.
Okay, send you beside and I see.
No, because of course he has the world's biggest single now. One of the main cancer.
Yeah.
So I figured it be a ube nimino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But minimum rama bedu. Yeah. Yes. Enti media me feel say
enti me ba so ni full name ni Molly Ama Montgomery.
Ade?
Montgomery.
I know you there.
Montgomery. Montgomery. I hope I got the pronunciation right.
Okay. Well, media me feel say when it comes to but she is beautiful. What's wrong with her? And why is she crying?
Because people are body shaming her.
Body shaming people. Which people?
Ghanaians.
Oh, maybe body shaming. So why is obi a when you 2 series credit? E na social media or pay bibi aye or bet type into sankrofo no there say obi a when you bra your business a unya streams enya usika. You should bother about those people. No. Media I think say when the share ni mole nyina no they should think of something better, bigger problems or more. No munyai sankrofo we achi. They are not part of their market. Ultimately, yes, you cannot satisfy everybody in your in the world. You're part of your market or toward and focus on him. Yeah.
Right. Yenya ho studio ha Richmond Edu Poku Ababekanya entertainment industry mudia. He's not new to the space, so I'm very sure he has a thing or two to say about this. Richmond, yema akwaba.
Yeah.
Me say conversation in there when you I mean you are not new to this space, so definitely you know a thing or two about this. But you na beka fa sa nkomo yon.
Me say body shaming. Enye makwa na body shaming mu.
Me kai patapa kra wa mu ye ni bi.
Enti omu shame mema ne emba nyina. It just so happens say mba no more vocal than embema. But I think, as an artist, one of the things you have to learn to be confident in is your body. It's not a thing that an artist should be worried about, but it also raises another issue, a broad societal issue. What we have fed our people and what we have come to believe in. Sebe in Kagana nipa de originally in our body to saying. And I think for any artist, you should be confident in your body, build what you want, and stay with it. So, yeah.
All right. 13 minutes after 2. It's here for no me no about Pausime Dumiensa and the 12th of July. Me the MCI woman meeting mama minya be ma kwesi abaje. And come back ko bi wo ha ye beti ni tew na afei ya baba be ra eye and then komo kese pa ye bedi ni titiru any article bi a me amenya be ma Richmond atwa wo de aba beto wo se Ghana anyum tofo bebre na mo bonyum mo release nyum mutumi nya hit songs na so sa hit songs and na menya 100 million likes 100 million views nini na no entumi na ni nkosikemu emma ni mehye mu botom eno na ye nkomo kese na ye bedi pa ba ye nte sa nkomo we won briefly because see ye no ye betwehwe ho nkomo wa hanum sei Kimpaluta Echo London yenina ye netua de ekosi wo London Jumedia wo mo ye wo ho all white boat party so se be ye 2 weeks ni na yehu second Kimpaluta flare up on stage na the attendant say was a fan be ebu na nichie e wo crowd nim ene enichie a wo mo dobre no efi crowd nim no Kimpaluta ejai ne performance na sebe Wakika and Sema and Sena and Fata. Efa one of the patrons wono hona Kimpaluta chiremu se wobu na nichie no I think say san komoi ebeye kesepa wo media space no ma man for na adwen me chere ma adwen you have the likes of Bulldogs Kojo King Saliman a lot of entertainment personalities chere wo ma adwen ewo sa Subaya na said dia esi wo London ho na etie for me ka mo say adwumadi a wo mo ye wo London Peace FM pe enene organizers no etwetwe enkomo wo mo a wo mo organize sa event no mo kire ye mu say event no mo organize ye no event a wo mo ye de apesika aboa enyanka aboa sebe enkola womu nibie omo ye less privileged and afei emma womu asafa abusive relationship eno ena the theme of the events are a course so enti sa same way ko see wo ho no na ba be ye he a wo bi a tre na adwen but I think a lot of people had expressed concerns say nka wo mu hwe ni mu second paluta kra e dey apology bi ebeba and now baba be chiremu what really happened na say apology bi no dey beba because I've seen several people hosting a TikTok live talking about this event where some of the women are saying that woman to say and that they will be boycotting shows sebe woman be bele a year Kimpaluta and komoi abaso ababa be kesia na woman for na hwe ni musa nke bia wo baba be chim but Kimpaluta e de nyum na aba enyuma wo de aba no or say your friend between me and God. This has also sparked another conversation. Ebi mu chemu say or the entertainment journalists and as personalities and one can ask them ebi mu so one de me ebi mu si bulldog ebi mu si Saliman. And no ewo ho. But what has really become the conversation now is that enkrofo say enti Kimpaluta en address issue we kwan bia so ana we will just move on like nothing has happened. Mama yentie nyum no briefly na say baba ka me mama pam for emrem na wo so wo mo enche wo madwen ewo ensema ekoso ewo intentime fidie. So this has become one of the things a man for expressing wo mo displeasure say anko wo nya yanka anka Kimpaluta to me the apology bia but this is what he brought out ni nyum ya say a friend between me and God. Mama yentie
For shut up if you get nothing better to say. When we pull up we massacre, we scatter the place. From Nigeria to Zamara, my baby, I say, ayo, 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 ayo. Oh my Jerusalem women, don't cry for me. They keep on talking, we keep on making them money. Send a sergeant, send a shame on you, shame on. Ayo, ayo, ayo. If you say I'll be bad, it's between me and God. How I live my life, it's between me and God. I see them pointing fingers, sinners judging sinners. How I live my life, it's between me and God. If you say I'll be bad, it's between me and God. How I live my life, it's between me and God. I see them pointing fingers, sinners judging sinners. How I live my life. Okay, see I no tired GT Sropia. And you want a woman to go to see my fire that I ever found on tra. What's I'm forgetting a yana 6 feet out of Katia. Okay, so we see Baba, Baba, and Kia, I was a Baba, and see us a muscle. Oh, but I ain't going to see I know, so you bet you are not so yet. I must if you say I'll be bad, it's between me and God. How I live my life, it's between me and God. I see them pointing fingers, sinners judging sinners. How I live my life, it's between me and God. If I shut up, if you cannot say better to say. When we pull up, we massacre, we scatter the place. From Nigeria to Zamara, my baby, I say, ayo, ayo, ayo. Sinners judging sinners, shame on you, shame on me, shame on you. Ayo, shame on you, shame on you. If you say I'll be bad, it's between me and God. How I live my life, it's between me and God. I see them pointing fingers, sinners judging sinners. How I live my life, it's between me and God.
It's here for your mic in Paluta, the Ababe to Abontini, or say between me and God. Watch him, sinners judging sinners. At the bonnier for a moody at the bonnier, or mubu at the bonnier for a thing. And no, I hear Kimpaluta, Eddie Ababe to watch him, say, or Brian, boy, would say, and I saw yes, you bet you will be. Yanya Yaru, and Yamuna Muma non sia ebo. Say, Ayana man for cassette. And you be a by MCI, a buana, watch your good Timuntem. Enti anyum mu de mama misima ba ko mechi egumite montem na mama ba be cheche but yaw me function komo yase.
Well, for me, I think initially, no, as I see, no, I was of the remarks, especially for young pandas, no. You be a bit calmer on Kimpaluta, considering say most of your man you know, after whatever happened into you see you from the perspective of acting out you the woman na reaction no. So even though you're wrong no, now I feel say at least you different perspectives so a bit me aboa ma your full conclusion even though it was an unprofessional behavior. But and then I'm pretty disappointed. I work in Paluta in the team. The reason I'm disappointed here, say issue ba. Sometimes they told me addressing. And I wear issue I want me brushing off a issue I say with me can once because I don't know national issue. I might even put different promoters across Europe. Plan some be blacklisted because what disrespecting patron, especially a lady. In me expect to say possibly cry someone yashi cry maybe a press statement on a letterhead on the better social media either apologizing or now so who believe it say won't apologize here explain all side now yes you intimate here say oh okay until when they see yentina a do say now yes so you have some a level of compassion but sir 1 year way now feel the next thing you this song attributed to Nkrofo or condemn actor deep down him say unprofessional and they are very wrong because tone deaf posture now will take it here and they say on and fan of one you know it be affecting in the long run there what kind ladies boy you come cause some show say Burkina Nkrofo boy Europe I'm sure Ghana have no dreams of be fan because maybe local promoters no and home but the revenue stream ebe free abroad no asem wenti ebe slash and I want address say ade na ebe wo kwa ebe ade ebe won so ache o artist na oye woman very bad and I make am highly disappointed because ni team no menim say ni team no o Nkrofo a omo enim de obi say kwa me ba what the system na say ni manager Kofi de la blogger to a media person to moti ejuma we nti say artist ne grant ya say a your medjuma say omo be direct artist no amane ehu ado because say situation we wan address here e be escalate yeah support no from the initial reaction ye na e be san adwem because ya adwem no onye serious because when nya matter o da o ka say oh ebe twum where matter o address ni early because enya hwe kra bit me can say a violent act against a woman because na no in fact our camera so na yete ya no very painful because because of wig mu because of wig asema mba na wig a very personal situation to because of wig asema very serious and challenge ni team mo consider
all right
no mo bra back omo apologize and omo explain omo side of the story na Ghana for yes you bit me atias here
all right Socrates.
Yeah. NYB. I agree with Nyawakano. I agree with you, Pa. Nyawakano as an artist, say BBC, it's just in order for you to come and clear it, apologize where necessary for posterity because I'm a public now. Yes, until no me know ya dream. But a new way or boy, you know, I also agree with him in a way. Yes, because a Drew baby, an artist want to express himself despite how he feels. Take advantage. Your artists many a times are SMBSC. Omudia nyom. I'm a man for assume no ma cash out. Esi bebre intermediate but the lyrics of the songs now see han say Kim Promise nipa no ti han say no not long ago obetina han say be kire Kim Promise nyum ya so nim Terminator
yeah
nyum Terminator
Una I'm like Terminator.
Yeah. Unim lyrics no.
Not really. I know the chorus. I'm
at a point in life if you don't understand me or not, misunderstand me or not, I am okay. I am okay. And if you think I'm wrong or not, long as it's what I want.
So long as it's what I want, I'm okay.
I'm okay. Who are you to judge me? Like say you be holy. Pass. I dey love my life. Get my peace of mind. I dey try survive. We all be sinners. My paddy, nobody holy pass. And my happiness comes first. I never come life to stress. Yeah. Me pacho. What's the difference between this and Kim Paluta? Hey.
Tilly may answer. Me your host in myself.
And the incident preceding each song release.
Okay.
Let's get into it. I didn't want to, but you have brought it, so let's get into it.
Over to you.
Una aku ebaye. Na can promise enkodi obabi atemo baby. There was no beef, there was no incident. He dropped the song, and we could all relate to the lyrics of the song because or come out faster might be brain. But you see, this particular incident, no, is very different.
Okay.
Asemwesi, wako baby, obiya bibi. Una wukra mic, and I work with the atama. Sabi, inse wa hayi intimi kan radio sinti na yenka na nya wegi pen na ya problem. Odina atama dina ya sin nyina atem. What you are saying? Now,
Enyum na ya sin him.
Dabi na ya sin him.
Okay.
What you are saying? Odina atama to that level.
Okay.
Someone like me, me can't say when who I say baby, I'm not even on my own podcast because now me giving it some slack. I was cutting some slack. Say a human reaction. It could be so or no reaction. But the woman can't who I am who know. And no her. It also doesn't excuse the reaction. Ain't how or handle situation after all the noise to the better say. Oh, okay, you're caught nature. Who say oh in that moment no. The it part of me got the better side of me to know that me apologize. I die down. So we've seen people come here, they have terrible cases, but once they come, they accept and apologize. No, be some can because we apologizing. We move on, you know, I waste. What you say? But if in that same stretch now, you drop a song and you say that sinners, judge sinners. Now, Baba, obieta Baba, now Baba respond there, which means say. After you even had your sober reflection, you don't consider your act now as a problem. That is a problem.
Okay.
Some projects we are already about can promise no. If it had come after on your opinion and I could do about better, it would have been received differently.
Okay.
What you are saying? That is a problem. Now I have answered you. So let me go to my own submission.
Yes. So what answer na mani we are now what
oh, wa soja.
Mami you dey na ba ko so. Me pa cho won say King promise there no obe chire mu say na obi anti ade na so ana so nti obi ana so. Timing no.
Yeah.
Me pa cho King promise sebi print as enyo ne natifie.
Oh, odo you pancake.
Obi ati ane na so wo fie a yen ode nwum ba yen ni fie as.
So wo fie na drop project amani wo fie the King promise on your pet papa.
Wo ne enyo ne natifie and who knew the personal life. Enti enema bi wo ho a wo nti ase enwum bi wo ho release ye one we enwum kwabena enwum no.
So baby ke shout out then aba.
Who knew the story behind the motivation behind it?
Okay, ne krakra ne say.
Enti ne krakra ne say King promise ye enwum no wa ma kevia ana a preamble bi say ne happen in London no e ho response ni ye na ye fa asem no any content no to relate to it. But on meka sem bia wo ya ye bo a wa fa ama ho
Me pacho me fa ma me ho
enti no obi a wa fa ma no bia
no so please when ka say ma fa ma me ho de che say me submission me make me boni din me on mo me din ye enti men ka say ma fa ma me ho what you say
yo on fa ma ho enti obi a fa ma ne ho because wa mo bia din ye nwuma wa drop do enwum na emu nye de your friend say mixing no challenge kakra.
Oh, I thought I was the only person that's recognized that.
That's a demo.
Okay.
Oh no, catch you say a demo.
Sound no, you follow industry. What's your my mix your master? Where's the demo?
You been so a demo and be release.
What's so hey? Sorry, after they don't put demo nowadays, so they don't mix a master. Obo speaker by the
industry standard.
Demo. I'm telling you, it's demo.
Okay, yo, media me say demo once I was releasing it there. No professional musician like him will release a demo. No, you will make sure that the sound that is coming out is good.
So now that you are saying the sound that is coming out is not good, does it make it a demo?
No, it may be somebody's shoddy work. What am I saying? Ebi ani onu nso betimi aye no waye no. Nti me de me feel say or more be edin. Though I agree with me nua say artist there asemba okoye udi say nsenhu na yesenka obabe apologize because you are dealing with fans. But this particular song no so no metie ye no mo bia amfa ma ne ho artists are releasing the works. Why nyum to send ya meti Terminator metie words no I enjoyed it. I like it. Inti saa na we nso metie words na sinners judging sinners. Yesu Kristo o ka say ni onye bone da no onto bo mo ba no na ohun so mu nyina o ma ye bone inti ordinary motivation from the Bible. And na o fire no de aye ne nyum sinners judging sinners. Inti me I see nothing wrong with the song. Just that ni say hu no ko di and me feel say as management should come out and at least issue some sensible statement. That's all.
All right, Tilly, for microphone, Nami marriage one in room.
Okay. So I think say Kempaluta brand, there is a confusion around the brand right now. And this one I'm just speaking as somebody that's, I'm hoping that Kwame Babeti, Kempaluta Hinsobeti, then they should just think about it. I'm not going to go hard, I'm just going to speak. Now, Kempaluta a blow as the rapper, na oyena. Naka adiewe any problem, and I will explain why. There is something called brand personality or brand, the way I would see
but also there's something called a
brand personality.
Brand
personality.
Okay, twaso.
What you say, or brand personality is a set of human traits or characteristics that a brand is associated with, behave, speak, or feel if it were a person. Typical example, Kitty brand here, Obia or Domba, Lover Boy. And it will be hard for Kitty's brand if he's seen insulting a lady. Very hard for him. A rapper, to say, Amradu, say no rapping no, and this has first a Kempaluta before Onya and commercial song no. And yes, I deal we are. People ain't holding because omo style no ye ne ibeja na wa building no omo ye hardcore omo kasen twie e omo style, which is why certain artists they get away with rudeness because omo brand personality no and bro omo behavior and bro, so it's
built around that.
It's you who say a calm brand no ho. Now Kempaluta, unfortunately, he did not blow with sa rap any sa street rap no and akamasuta put to be level ni bi o blow with aseda. O blow it, or was sisi fiani be, o blow it, and your ma and ban sum. So Kempaluta is seen as a lover boy. Tina or Tonya ma almost a empire in a jar or move so much na atia don't go for you, your time about. So for that image, that personality to be seen verbally abusing a woman is dangerous. And that is the problem. I hope they will listen. I'm not going to go hard on him, but I hope they listen. That the confusion and the problem and Amafo Janina say the image that Kempaluta's brand has built in people's mind now, we cannot accept the fact that he is okay with what he did on stage. It is two brands, no. Now, the sad part of me right now is sad because the new drop piano confirms that old him and not the new him now. Amafo Ajasomono. Yaro is not Makuma Yaro na yenimuno. Yaro is not the Apeki Yaro na yenimuno. Baba is not. The image that have been created is the lover boy ya Ojane shirt. Ebie kakrama emba. Ewan huno or wasone hono. What ya say? That is the guy we in bar we celebrate. That is the guy the both people booked to come and perform. Not Yaro. So if he doesn't see how people accept his brand now and how Adene see it affects his brand down, he will go back to send an amitia or me sana mitio. But you were that as a rapper in a certain image and people saw you. And if you say Obietia Baba Nasta Babetia Nibia, That is the culture of rap, hard life, and you know, I didn't was to say, I think there is a deep-seated brand confusion with Kempaluta right now.
Personality
Confusion that he really has to look at. It was so in cause when then he may have to go back to that street rapper. That's the only way he will survive. Because if we see you as the person at embassy, I don't know. Me whole video be some time ago, lady be. Or say he just wants to date Kempaluta one day, pay Nana Bravo. That is how they hold him. Oy. What you are saying? So for you to come and insult a woman and not see a problem and drop a song, it means that in your mind you think you are the same Kempaluta now. Ultimately, they are on rap and ghost cause we are not the same person.
Thank you very much.
And that is my problem. And that is my fear with Adena Wayeno.
All right, Richmond, me pacho. Hey, would you hear me do Richmond? Me pacho for microphone.
I think so. I think so. On this table, everybody has made a very valid point. Nanaya, I think, talked about his team and his disappointment in the team, and then Sok decided to talk about the commercial viability of the situation, and Tiliso aka about the brand. There's something that artists have, and every artist who gets to make it has something we call the God complex. You get to a point where you begin to feel like now when it gets there, if you don't take care, you will allow your person to override your brand. Enti there or and ebia or nuni nipano. That is who he is, and that is how he reacts as a person. However, what he ought on any team also say, he is no longer a person. Where he was standing there representing his brand and not his person that nobody knows. What we know out here is his brand and not his person. In Kawaseni team, if not there, they should have called him to order. And if the team didn't understand or even agreed with what he did, after hearing everything the industry was saying, they should have read the room and rendered an unqualified apology. What is worse is that his team watched him release a song. He's been forced to play nonsense. What he played is nothing compared to the work he's put out in the last 2 years. Yeah. Quality of delivery, the mixing, it does not match up to the brand that he has built in the last 2 years. So he has to be careful. The thing with artists, the amount artists they say, when you are going down, it takes more than a year for you to know, because people will call you this year based on the work that you did last year. So how this is affecting him, he might not see it now, he might see it in the future. So his team has to sit up, they've got to do something about this. I suspect, looking at the quality of a new release, and they say, Ebikura or release for the management, because it doesn't match up with what he has released in the past.
All right, it's here for 39 minutes after 2. Peace FM Entertainment Review. Now would say, I know the city limimbusa question. Say, mean kind of I know the same. How come you never give MDK some slack? Because he's a hardcore rapper and held somebody's behind. Character has little or nothing to do with brand personality.
MDK, ye gwana manechiti say who? Adechi and Aledina, ye can't no wako. Akoye raise your shoulder. Eti anod o answer no direct ye kan ye na be ye haters. Ema medical ba media mu e catch say me ti say tran kana me say ti say troubles. Dey share so back and forth sa. Ori o san call live e go amanfo. Ema e sa na ye me cry amanfo e di matam all am manti me till later to my respond. Eti yes, we spoke about him. But I'm also saying that aside his personality, there is a certain image that every brand people have in mind. Until you might be a hot-tempered person, but if you are over the years, you have built yourself as Obia Odomba or Abotre. Once we see anything that bruises that thing, it's a problem, and that is the problem for Kempaluta right now. But obviously, Subai is saying that I agree with Arnold too. Subai is saying it could be that this is his personality, but it has never really been touched that way. And I say, Bibian Baya as spotlight is our behavior, and he's just showing us. But it doesn't actually go with the brand he has built in the last 2 years. It doesn't.
All right, it's here for yatin komo way if you want a better way and common so so it's beja hwako but answer no bekono memano there was this article I mean it's here for me say no your artist bebre na obi are releasing you ma you can say oh go and stream yeah there I say streaming no has become a part of the conversations we have around artists omo promote womo project na briefly answer na so create ubeja ye hono. There was this article me hu ya na wutre mu say streaming platforms are making musicians poor. Na no tie into nkomo ene Richmond ebabedi on how musicians can actually make money, you know, off the craft wono. Na Socrates we no che mu kakra the article minkan na etiefo hu article na ni so kakana wa che mu Socrates Safo has reignited a debate about the Ghanaian music industry over reliance on streaming platforms, arguing that they have not necessarily increased our musicians' global reach or revenue. Online movie streaming services, best headphones deals. I'll say all that has happened is owners of streaming services have brainwashed Ghanaian musicians into believing that recording huge numbers on their platforms translates into huge sums of money, which isn't reality. So great. Jemu Kaka.
Okay. I'm say a young komo amene graphic showbiz for a year. Now I started from a conversation on a platform where we were discussing the ecosystem of the music industry. And I can say, Bob Marley can say, if you know your history, you will know where you are coming from. What am I saying? Good. And so me share the history of the music industry now. The challenges are by Edi Ababe Drew Hanse, you know. And no enemy analyze it. One, Edi by it got to a point where a man for enter CDC BM. I didn't know to see this. Yeah, and come away. Yeah, dear. There be no be akofa one angle, but my bread. I didn't know phone to see this. It was because Ubekoto CD no. And yum beye 10 waso. And yum 10 was CD ne so no. E bia ba ko penny aboa aye wo de. Enti na okoto e. Udi shemu boss anyum na nyum ne track 3. Uchim contract no boss anyum ni wi a obon se ne what ade ni so nyina no ne che se afono obo na nya oda you don't feel like continuing na fe wabada ni DJ more especially when you are driving enti no obo track na e o de kakra bia no wayi afri mu no ave ka chire kwa miapia your friend say 24th sa cassette ni nyina no mi bisa o say enyuma wo so ye won kai 24th pe enu na ma manfo bebri koto e.
Okay.
So album ne to na CD na eye album ne to no ebe ye unattractive e ma public ne to no. What did they do? Now they stop buying. And omo your list of songs are omo pa they no dey call spinners ni ho. Ni spinners na record am omo. Enti no bonyum no radio so. And around that time, my FM so buy and in Afi, drive a crown tune to FM stations now. You enjoy the selection at a DJ no air mono than you buying a CD. And the CD ni be unattractive. Okay. This is what happened. And yet CD technology in the call you. Name mono album na ni yeto you are forced to buy an album. Album be a new one song. Why yet lucky crowd musicians need be normally instrumentals be two appear to amount. Enti enyo no be 4 na was on instrumentals go near the acapella and so afwaso. So people stopped buying and they started consuming it in other formats,
which is the streaming of the songs.
That was where a month for a year compilation no.
Yeah.
Musicians got frustrated because omo kokatamanto na CD ni guhoni ento ya omo say distributor pirating enyum. Then the streaming technology ni buy no, then they came and convinced the musicians say this is a platform, you will see the back end ska wenye nyina obehu Meanwhile, no, musicians were frustrated because some feel say pirates distribute a musica. Now obi aka say me more technology be obi hu sika. Into omu nyina omu to the actually. Then they added say you will get access to the whole world. Yes, you will get access to the whole world. But is it automatic say the whole world will listen to your song?
Well, say edahwa baby obi wo wiase afana baby a offer the Apple Music, offer the Spotify app. Obenya access so long as only artists need in obebo asha one there. Obenya access to artists.
Yeah. When was the last time you streaming Indian song wa ha?
Me mintie Indian phone.
But obi we Indian, musician we India. I can't say you have access to the whole world, including Ghana.
Yanti na kidi release nyuma hiti wo India.
That is one out of the norm. In society, and we am your friend is saying Chinese songs were Malaysian songs, different songs. Your friend is saying musicians,
right?
But because you have access to the whole world. Who musician would dream say, where is your primary market? Your primary market is what you should focus on and build it.
All right.
Your secondary market may come, but that is a bonus. But our musicians abandon the primary market, you know, and no more call because actually say they will have access to the whole world. And they did it with the hope, say they will have the numbers, the world numbers, not the Ghanaian numbers. As we speak now, check the back ends. Nisha baby a Ghana for internationally is streaming. A brochure, okwa Ghana for ne ohona. The main diaspora market. Ghana for.
So okay, let me just speed this up a little bit. How is this making them poor?
Because they've abandoned the primary market. Now, the streaming market, no, what were the terms I had in my That is where the problem is. You see, you're streaming, and you know, be streaming free. Now, unya 1,000 streams are near amount. No more, no. $1,300,000. $1 million.
Richmond Pacho Kasegu microphone in mommy. 1 million streams.
Yeah, 1 million streams. Na amount $300. Ya nchiro musau. I bet you beginning now the stream Baba Sadiq mobile. No, that's not what they told them. That's not what they told them. They gave them some huge voodoo analysis. You have access to the whole world. You will get this, you will get that. Not 1 million streams for Spotify. Some no the highest. Tidal is your highest, but Spotify is one of the biggest. So imagine the others, no. So this is where I'm saying, it is making the musicians poorer. Sika omunya from that technology, no. And what they should do now is to revise the whole thing. Streaming has become part of the distribution channels. It's a digital, your friend is saying, format. Sell your songs there. Men can't say streaming is a taboo. No. Sell your song. Go on the, your friend is saying, digital platform, but don't allow your song to be streamed by 1 million people and let them give you $300. No.
How do you not allow?
It is your decision, and you'll be there.
Inti eno sano onyum tuni no so the nyum kwato platform so how and be restricting crowd from streaming.
You decide. You go to the platform, negotiate with them. I'm bringing my song. I want you to sell. Obiba openyum na to say kwabra album no. O say me ton 10 cedis. So pay 10 cedis download. Ultimately, don't tell me say I'm coming to stream for 1 million people and then you give me $300. I mean you being so kwakoche $3 million. $3 no. Na mean you be so kwakoche. So I'm advising musicians say they should sit and look at the model. For streaming and not digital. I mean can't say a taboo. It has become part of it. But the format, any model they more mono. Look, the owners of the platform, no, they always laugh to the bank because you have about 200,000 people on your platform, musicians.
Right.
And wo jin kitten from mo nyina. Enti wo de onya ya inka enya fo mo bia amra. Then you take the numbers to the advertisers. Then the advertisers will come and put their songs, their adverts there. Then you get the money from them. Then you share with the musicians. Enti wo de onya ya nka obia sebi mo nwi deep. Onfa ni de ni mame tungu ho keke na attract it. That is the owners of the platform, what they want. But you, the musician, you have created the work. And your work ni cheap. The cheaper it is, the more it will attract more people. The more people don't translate into money to you. Unya kakre bi krampo no motono, even 10 cedis no mawa. You make more money than the millions now who chase, Let them think. This is my whole your friend is saying you.
Okay. Mami ma Richmond and Bran Komoimu. And then my guest of our studio ha Richmond Edupoku or the General Secretary for Ghana Association for Phonographic Industry. Osaso you're the CEO of Ghana Music Live and the CEO of Digicom Publishing and Music Licensing Company. Osanso Arthur Emma Graphic Showbiz and our myjoyonline.com Richmond Edupuku Nidino Medekeke Senya Mebono no so Mawanusi na Emma Richmond
Sadia way ubenya artists on can say oh no the 2 high and toy the 2 high and 20 masa o the 2 baby for free watch share my all the platforms Apple Music ton no they are called to Spotify na or no they free or they are called to free or they say free who the 2 baby see a ton ni awo ton ni obi anto o ti ma see ni awo they are 2 baby say wo ton no bi ani ho oba beto but because obi anya ni free or other platforms.
Okay.
This is one of the challenges me raise here.
All right, Richmond, Bremu say field where akwakoye baby I would do more kotene pano and some so great Eddie Atutujay. Is that really the case?
I agree with him on some parts and then on other parts I disagree. I don't think that our problems necessarily the fact that we use streaming platforms and streaming platforms they added source of revenue, so that in itself isn't a problem. But where it becomes a problem, what we make here, yen use Spotify and find an example in what we call premium markets, and I say high revenue markets like the UK, US, and Europe. When an artist streams or when your music is streamed, what you make is 0.003 between 0.003 to 0.005 dollars. What it means is you stream 1 million times, you make between $3,000 and $5,000.
On which platform?
This is Spotify. I'm using Spotify as an example. And that is for the high markets. But when you come to markets like ours, which is Ghana and Nigeria, then the artist is going to receive between $300 and $500 as opposed to $3,000 and what, because of where we are and how much a stream costs and all of that over here.
But now, why is the na is it baby almost finding almost self need to know making the $3,000 to $5,000 now what is the determining factor?
Example kakra. Over here there are people who are on streaming platforms who are paying 17 cedis every month to be on those streaming platforms, but out there nobody's paying the equivalent of $17 17 cedis. Market be any study or moton and normal too. Let me use a London example. Calling cards in London, what they cost in London, and yet the same thing we call outskirts of London. It might be £5 in London, but when you go outskirts of London, it be about £3.50, £3 or something like that. And what people are paying here to be on Apple Music or Spotify, more often than not, is not the same people are paying outside. And we can't necessarily blame the say Spotify for the rates that they give us. What people do, they say out there's value. Say Universal. Universal Force ye Spotify negotiate ye nyum your catalog so much into ustream my say. But over here we haven't been able to hone what we have. Obia your non kwa until they tell us what they give us what they want to give us, and nobody can say anything because we have not put our acts right. And see that in itself, isn't what they are paying us isn't a problem. I believe say and we can negotiate, but we can only negotiate when we all come together and say, you know what, if you don't give us this, we are pulling our catalog. That's if our catalog has such huge powers. But that will be a little problematic because the fact of the matter is that most Ghanaian artists are not Ghanaian artists. They are in Ghana, however, their songs are distributed outside. Obiwa or Universal. So the moment or here, or they call Universal. Now Universal like a register will be depending on which Universal or one. Until you might hear a Ghanaian artist and their name and everything. But in actual fact, they are not Ghanaian artists. So those people are making money. So there are people in this industry who are making the bucks as if they are in, Europe or anywhere. But there are also others who are here, who are doing everything here. They get low value, they get everything. And sincerely, that is not a problem. Like I said, if we pull resources together, if we're all together and everything, there are things we can negotiate. A couple of weeks ago, Virgin was here. They spoke with a couple of industry people trying to do this so that we can have some very strong catalog and be able to have some of these negotiations with YouTube and all of that. And on that score, that is it. But I do not think that streaming is a problem or is impoverishing anybody. The say. Se misromin ka Ghana for no ye suatra kakra time streaming by obo soak na obo Sadiq Mudi. I think that it's not the first time I've heard him say that, but I don't think that they did anything wrong. They were given a mandate. There was a business that had come. They were supposed to market it. They marketed it, and they did a brilliant job. And there's no problem with it. I don't think at any point I heard Sadiq or anybody who was saying we should stream whatever say munjai cassette to ana munjai. That was all us. And no yesu atrano. Exactly. When we get one thing, we forget about the other completely. In Europe and elsewhere, people are buying CDs. About a year ago, I read about cassettes reimagined in the United States of America. Magana ya panning now. It was streaming. Yes, so you need a candidate to take to make the most out of the platform that is available to us now. And see, that really is the problem. There was no reason for us to, when we went digital, we could have easily moved. Today, people are still selling music on CD in traffic. And there are people who are selling on pen drives. What stopped us from moving from doing printing CDs to going into pen drives and having this distribution? If indeed the albums were the problem, what stops us from collecting on Uko Street, album? Album, but you get compilations and whatever. There are associations. There's a Musica, there's Gappy, there's Gamro. There are musicians. We could have come together. We could have had something that our market will buy. The problem is there are 30 million people in Ghana. However, my checks as of last year, I was working on a document, so I did some research, and it's only about 5% of us that are connected to worldwide payments. When I say worldwide payments, are those who use debit and credit cards. It's just about 5% of our population.
Which one are machine in those mama kaka?
And it's a 5% of population. And now access to credit and debit cards. Na say Spotify, Apple Music, a CD Baby, Lala, ni omo makadi nyina. What they need to get on is credit and debit cards. What it means is that you reduce the size of your market by 95% straight. We know that our people, two things that are common in every Ghanaian home or with every Ghanaian, most Ghanaians, music, any alcohol.
Not in my home.
Ghanaians will play music when they are happy. They'll play music when they are sad. For every situation,
they'll drink alcohol when they are happy.
Exactly.
They'll drink alcohol.
That's why I drew that similarity. Well, and see, the problem is not consumption of music. The problem is how we are positioning ourselves to make capital out of the music that we put out. A lot of people just put the songs on digital platforms and go and sleep. even on the digital platforms, you ought to market, you ought to push it to make the money. And that is not all our stream. That is just one out of a myriad of streams that an artist can make money off. You know, adding kakra, but me try. And see, a quite bebre or artist betting me, yes, can name ya mana to a team, the same streaming, and unkwan and unkwan money. We and few are the only other thing a Ghanaian musician, I say, or bepe shows, and you know, afraid that would show be bar from you. Besides these two, most artists are not working on the other ones. And see, we talk about artists not making money and everything, but there are artists here who are making good money. What have they done right? What have they put in place? Those are the things we need to look at. Administration and you know yes what to no they are to about in
you be senior artist no AC4 episcan but yeah share how streaming no make musicians no poor and kaka me did you say tili obeban komo mu na dia work na say won say so
me try other means na ombenya scan na hu here because problem where they we identify that it's a new problem also about identify what has we all know that a handful of Ghanaian artists are actually making money. So I keep saying so when you do pool now you can't use the handful no as the general thing for them because majority are not making money. It's me Monday I'm actually waiting for him to because our cast is streaming and our cast shows also there are a lot of avenues. It's you know I really am waiting to be enlightened on the avenues. Maybe artists in the Japan or also a pesca from that side. But that is what I'm waiting for. But the problem there, we all know, and we've said it here countless times, say Sika any Homa artists. And I think people like Socrates and Sexiness and Koa or money artists I in previous times are not more tone. See the near they can testify says Sikana acquire from comparatively and you know I really want to hear the other avenues. We are also here to learn, then we can pick the knowledge and then apply it otherwise.
All right. Yeah.
Well, conversation is very interesting because time I don't see this no, not to you artists so many here for because you be a city near better. See a better no cry, see a better check here history in Ghana history. When you sure say there was a time I had like 100 artists on my head to moon 9 years simultaneously. They say era you won't see because even with the streaming era, we are artists are on your big cry. Their opportunities are bit me a film in yeska. You ubu krum ha ye nim no on your big but to go streaming data bon say ubu Brazil 18 Inti streaming no the ban and one thing you forgetting here before CD era ne create era streaming no you do piracy era Ghana motion and the account ho in fact na enye necessary crash ubeto CD mpo because so come online na nyum ni na da ho free obi entimi nka ho asem and that was the main reason streaming era ne cry e buy because a combat piracy no se be kan no cry me nan saying most of the websites na no dey nyum to free bebregu because the me dey be ko na me be stream me anya even more nyum no me ko sa side on what you say inti streaming era no it's been a blessing. Unfortunately in terms of sikane there you ain't even found to talk CD because CD physical origin jaso on train 3 months and sana when you royalties what you say in sikane there ya tia say in terms of recouping no eswati but chrome high way you won crop for omunya 500,000 $1 million advances ewo kroma omu did good what you say omu did rich into me the streaming era na there make say me problem am any problem but I feel say 34 no one time omu re fear
34 hwan mo no
oh okay I mean can ye
na 34 there
2004 no
2004 no we 34
yes so obi oye 2000 why sad say ya
when ya na 1980 ayi ni so de na ya de see ya nchire crank ya yere
ya pa 2020 ho e go eni mu that time no here before I see the baby out no executive producer yi sikapudo etma artist no na nbakọ no ton seed no we rukupi ni sika kakra se si a saira ni ho no omo eso mo disca ni shem no mu pia na yetimi marketing nyum no na yetimi nya returns no omo be so mo disca ni shem Obia pays the money. Obia beso yeah less investment, more returns. This era is a very competitive era. So one first can show no and push you ma. Enko. No credit eba akupe. One first can shima enko. Inti to see ebe have you understanding and say streaming no it takes a lot of effort and push no. And the ebeka will be ewo.
But assembly and Socrates kan ya na me pese ye hwe ne kakra baby ana watch mu say streaming no omanfo no bebre abeje de say bi ana ebe introduce you to a global audience. Is that not really the case?
It's the case. One can be attested to the fact. You need a who Chinese ni be or to come region. Nanka ye ton see this organa hanka stabbing no better come region. You need a yeti and you be free outside Ghana. It puts you in a position for global dominance. No credit about coupe. Say Crawford can Crawford be your back end at Chiran Cabon say, okay, I'm used to stumble as an example. Or release a video be on YouTube. Or checking the hub in the back end on your 1 million views from India. And you're global reach now, no. A global reach. Into a dear couple use to kid example, no? Which is a perfect example. Nanka you don't see this, I can no credit. Nanka kiddy bedroom India. There be into streaming it's opened us to the global market. And there's so much opportunities to kind of
I beg,
make money.
can I ask a question? So purchase a time I know muton CD na enyom no entra Ghana.
Dem pese me chen say time muton CD no. Usually no say obi wo market mu no hu say interest or wha. No aba be hu o main distributor no no so etwa ne de no de ko ntitete no Ghana for na eba omomo UK no ene Germany no mba no ma be hu executive producer no metwa CD so ma ne kakra.
Does that not defeat asemna okan? Because we say every platform or every market and how things are done. Now in the streaming era all can say kiddy nenyom obi India hu. So now what you just said right now about CD time, it means that there was but there was also a way. So are you telling me abrofuni bia anti Ghana nenum biada? So how was music being transported there? So are you saying that our music only went global because of digital platform and our songs were not going in that era? That is where I want to be clear on.
Oh, so when me am a global star.
Osibisa no global star.
Osibisa no.
Ebotela onye global star.
Beso TV.
No, I'm actually asking because I was getting the okanyina till the honey be share because in as much as ye ka say yen yom akọ global no, how many of our artists too are getting hit songs in India like Kiddy? What I say almost so they are always a handful. And you know I'm saying say I get what you're saying, but that part of the share no. So ni musi bisa. So ni musi bisa nim say Ghana boys or more UK, any Caribbean boys or more UK no musha no muti group. Me too.
UK a hub of music. But in fact distribution partners kesepano. More America, New Europe, New UK. So and I even able to tell cry. Most of the people who had global prominence now more young for more solely based in Ghana. Now you're more connections to the outside world. What I say, because for the music to move, no, you have to physically move it.
Which they are still even doing, even with the streaming platforms now. Can promise Echo Bali or call places, new places, but he also had to move. One Tanasi and Kase, I have a streaming platform and my song is there to me. Jaho, they're moving there, they are moving. But I'm saying, say, I'm asking. What, I'm not misconstruing it. I'm not misconstruing. I'm actually taking your word.
Mama remember kaka. Mimi say ya dia can mimi asia. Just to compare with analysis till make it say can promise Ekobo Bali any some Asian countries near there. I think say nyawo can meet asia episode just say sa streaming platform ya ne to me introduce can promise nyom e call Bali need these various Asian countries and now no so eti so eti and Nanchi call to go and give them the show.
That's what
so
I'm
that
saying.
means the streaming platform played a role in introducing the song to these
people. And I make us say now prior to streaming platforms no. How did our people also get their songs there? What you are saying. So whether third party or not, now the streaming platform is playing the role of the third party. So in that era, how was the machinery like to get their songs out there? So you can't, because I don't believe say our songs during the CD era never traveled outside, because we are here, we've heard the CD era and how Nigerians were, you know, with Ghana songs near their day. So how did it move? It means that whether they call ho, why they call ho, that was the mechanism that was working, which is the difference mechanism of. But if you say the traveling of music was traveling prior to streaming platform, that cannot be the only thing. Wait, we actually make a point about streaming. So please come again.
So, if I can come in,
all right.
There's a difference in this context between introduction and access. What streaming does is gives us access, not introduce us. So there's a huge difference. And streaming, my access to the market, that is not the same as introducing you to the market. There's a difference between access and introduction. So the streaming platforms gives us access to the market. It does not introduce us to those markets. So a lot of times introductions have to do with a lot of marketing effort. A lot of times what is a artist be a koha ni team and also obia or ye juma more my underground work ni bibi no mako. Into yes, streaming amount access to the world. It does not introduce you to the world.
So I have a question. Yeah. A lot of artists have their song on there, but very few are playing shows in the places I mentioned. So what is the access? What is the essence of access now when you know when people have to your song, when you don't still have to add? Because they're kind of streaming platforms, so they have to go and do the ground. I mean the CD era, no more groundwork. It's in a panel car, you sure say or don't want how or call and I don't see the track on the other. But now you know that there's somebody in India can access it. But the question is, if you don't put money to project your art towards India, access no one fast one, because people are still not streaming it, even though on more access of it at India. What you say? That is my question.
I'm not sure if it's a question or a statement, but
it's a statement. But you know,
my point is without although there's access, you won't be introduced. You've got to do something else for the introduction to happen. Walking into Peace FM is not coming into this studio. You can know in Peace FM how many people have had access. Everybody has access to the building who's been introduced inside. That's a different matter altogether. You must have a reason to be here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, me ye pass say yenya ye hunti ase wo san komo so, but ye movie on enko a year Richmond article ya wode eba ye mu watch mu say anyom to fo bebre na eneno womo etumi ebonyom nanso so senia womo bebonyom enyum no beji atese na akobe bia na yesi club we ye bonyom ha se ye bonyom ha my popular my say na momus eba ne say artist no bottom say sika ne ba begu artist ni bottom bebre na womo nyesika ne bi. Last week, a year Thursday, you share some komo we are saying, and I am really sure. Richmond, you better go over some of the few things I born common and na fe. It's here for an hour muti so one more ati and common say a year pa. Na asemtia na eda a year article a year Richmond edu poku etro so say why Ghanaians musicians make hits but have empty pockets. Yenremu kaka nechemu internet sa because yehu several times say artists be brako interviews awoni omo bon koma on because o time me release nyumo ya na ajiba bia na minishio na miniska na e bom nyumo hanso na miniska ebi wo ha na me ferry se makwa kofa. We've heard so many stories. So why is it like that? Because yenoma yen tifie prior to say ye industry mu no yehu say artists be nam TV so ye boni di wa ye de yehu wa enim say hey we a billionaire an hwe wa nya lucky crane say we chairman we say we sort we call for artists so e bia making na wo kraka pre e bi nu bottom.
Mama say in the spirit of your conversation mama say free time na yen stream no sa time no na utimi said the scenario we create u paint is here no na nkofo chro nwum a wa chro nwum wa bi wa chro keke na wa kwako hu producer and executive producer and I say wa ko studio wa bibia na de nwum no akọ na executive producer ato enwum no wa to ne nwum ne rights ne bibia free no before obi abete nwum no wa to ne bibia dada enti wagine blog de akwakoto na car and akoto ane dance until you okay 7 months down the line na executive producer no wa release enyum no na enyum no ye bo baby a enso na ebia ka na say into no of trotro and now this can go see that into the obedi kra anything into that time no be obehu artist na wa ye big hit enso na comedy because ansa na enyum no be pie no na waton ne bibia age ni sika dada and then no there's something similar that is happening. What is happening is yeah crowdfund bebre no mami kasa about rights and your contracts and the moment ubetro nyum egu paper so no one right is generated, that's the composition and no kwa ye wo hu sika ayeje. The moment ube record no another right is generated, that is the sound recording. And no, usually no, and composition is an individual right. And you be adia aji wuton ya wu cry 75 years after your death, you own it. You own that composition. Now, say sound recording no, and no, usually ya na labels and ya omodia. They own the masters, the mixing, the masters of the song. And to see a tone and na, what you get is based on the contract that you have with the label. So the contract, the song can be so big, but say wuni label no more contract and say ubenya 10%, ubenya 15%, and now say we contract and say busumi biya yebetria simpua anatekua. That is all that you get. It doesn't matter how big your song becomes. That is all that you will have access to. I think when the song has been released and it's in the system, the first right is what we've talked about. See, baby, a free first. What on the banner label no. That one, what you get is based on what you have agreed with them. That's the first label. Exactly. Now, unfortunately, for most talents, no, or the objective, they are more passionate about the craft than the profit. Into about no person pay na life we na no so person be a big star. Into your kwa label no krebi mu kopacho. Okopacho so ode mpamucho mu into you have the talent, you have everything. The label all they have is their marketing and their connections. But who mu kono okopacho no so ode anyahwe all they want is a hit. Initially most artists that is what they look for. That is why they could make a hit and they would have entered into a bad deal and so they would not make any money. Now after that sale and now streaming no and no cry no sa the yaka say if you pick one platform and in as much as maybe say Spotify you can say bad no, remember that there are over 150 of such platforms around and it say wunya 300 no your friend is saying Spotify ebia ubenya 200 bi e wo CD baby ubenya bi e wo lala ubenya bi e wo Rhapsody ubenya nti udi bomu a it becomes some good money. That money is shared based on the contract that you have with the label. Now there's another right that comes because your song has become a hit. When your song becomes a hit, what it means is that your song has been played in clubs, on radio, on TV, and everywhere. There's a right that is generated from there, which should pay you some money. If you know needle time royalties. And a needle pin, some people will call it needle pin, some people say needle time. Peace FM and every other radio station in Ghana, who got your license, you are required to log the songs that you play. That log is a requisition because you have to pay money on the songs that you have played. That is where those are the monies that are buying Asashi Shemra and the 2 million Asha Gamronsa. Say Omonji Sasikana Emma Anumtofo. And they are supposed to collect. And they are supposed to collect in this country. They are the only CMO. Emra work room hano. Omu pe ene abayin this to me na momo. So omu beji Jessica wo radio stations, bar ne pubs ne bibia. And they are supposed to be efficient at collecting this. Once they are efficient and they collect this, and the artist has also registered, then you make some money from there as well. That is the second part. And over there, you make money on two fronts. The producer makes money. The composer makes it. When I compose, who say I differentiated between sound recording and composition at the beginning. So you make money for writing. And then you make money, producers making money, different people making money over there just because their song was played. But most artists or releasing numna and one, first of all, one sign a good contract and numna hits it, and answer what on and numna hits it only bow. Two, or we are so and you register or go in Gamro for a castle when you see canas or mocha on Kahunti also the person loses out. Now there's a third, and in as much as there are issues with as an industry, we have issues with the collection and distribution of Gamro. It will interest you to know, say, between 2017 and 2004, Gamro achieved over 12 million Ghana.
Sir.
Yes. Gamro, I can give you year by year what they shared. And say what now the $300 each. Now say 12 million honey a channel so won't count because in Omoko Gamora a usika. And whether you have registered with them or not, the government has given the law gives them the power to collect on your behalf.
Whether you've registered with Gamro or not.
So then why are they sharing the money based on registration? If they are taking without my registration, what we have to register.
They are taking the money based on locks and the fact that the law says they should take the money. Now they share based on this is the song. And yes, you are supposed to go there, present your work. Register with them so you say okay and you would your born pay say and our album saying on that basis you are being given X amount of money. Because there's a lot of rancor and things in the industry, artists will not register at all. But this is in our law. Whether you like them or don't like them, whether they are fighting or not. Yes.
Teacher, are they I have questions. Are they supposed to pay per Juma waye and now you my airborne and now they are supposed to pay what my register? Because I know for sure say people are being paid because on what albums were currently but they are still getting small coins. Emma as you said, some artists currently some more big songs now, some of them are not getting paid because they're not registered. Meanwhile or more radio station be extra blank check ama Gamro. So why is it that now the focus is more on those who have registered than those who are actually worth is Gamro feeding your friend is saying people who have registered alone, whether or not your music is being played, and now as against their music is being played but are not registered? What is that conversation like?
Do you remember I talked about two rights?
Yes.
I talked about composition and I talked about sound recording. Things come into play over there. You hear songs today that have lyrics from before.
Yeah.
You hear songs today that have instrumentation from before.
Yeah.
Good. Now, when Gamro has to share money, the modalities of sharing money I may represent Gamro, but the organization is supposed to come up with their modalities. Modalities is decided by the members of the organization. The members of the organization are the same musicians. So we create an abstract and say that and make it seem like Gamro obi oti baby akokrebi oti baby no decided. No, Gamro is made of people who have registered. They choose their leaders. They make those decisions. So they decide how. Currently, I think I'm aware they share based on albums and things like that. But the same members are supposed to say it has to move from albums to something. There's a reason why it is based on albums now. It is based on albums because and no na tangible so what to say. And na Gamro sika omuche. And yet radio stations sika no nwa no omuche. There are other monies that are shared that are based on how many times a song was played or royalties that have been generated by that particular song. Enti se omuba piece FM echo another station, omuko all stations omuji a certain amount. They come and split it equally. But there are other monies that they collect which belongs to artist A or artist B.
Which other monies are that?
But I can let me say streaming platforms, when him say apart from Sikana, Omotia artist say $300, $400, $5,000, they are also supposed to pay royalties, because once the song is on a platform, it is deemed said to have been performed live, and there are royalties that are paid for those performances. And see, the streaming platforms also pay royalties, and that is per artist. So depending on said year, you are paid royalties apart from sika ayetua.
Pachamintia so inti sa royalties we no omutuyama gamro. That streaming platforms omutuyama gamro aside
original.
Of their
original collection no original. In Africa it is collected by Capasso. And Capasso gives gamro based on a log. Say, oh, your boss don't boy you say, your boy when you say, and gives them that. So that money and no more and Shatter and receive 50,000. That was royalty money. But we also hear of other ones. I actually busy minya 300 and say minya say no radio stations no of the 300 and something stations that we have, those that pay omu gada sikana no much amankrofo. The truth is that from based on what I know, most radio stations do not pay. Inti Gamro is always in court. So we shout Gamro, 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 but the problem is bigger than Gamro. And the artists that shout Gamro, Gamro, most of them are not even part of Gamro or understand how Omuno Juma. I am not their spokesperson, so let's move forward.
All
right, so that is another needle time royalties. No, another place. Artists lose out because they haven't registered. Now there's over there. I will mention another thing. Unfortunately, and for reasons best known to Gamro, you need reciprocal agreement with the other countries. And the omo say omo mujiji abrofo nyomo no de omo na abrofo de no so omo so omo ji dia na ye de omo de amomo no omo de but as we speak today, as far as I know, unless something has changed between when I was driving and when I got here, Gamro doesn't have reciprocal agreements with other CMOs. And you know, we are artists after giving your song to Gamro to collect the money that is due you here and the royalties that are due you from your streaming platforms, you should be smart enough to give your music to another CMO that has reciprocal agreements or usika from the rest of the world. The last time I knew, the chairman of Gamro belonged to Gamro and belonged to Samro. And the woman no who said them. Rex. And there's nothing that stops you from belonging to more than one. And I say, all right, the OB collective amount. Well, let me say, who collective region we mami. In fact, in publishing, it is even smart to do it by region. Say obia Africa. How would you say we no me ya there pa? We mu and the munye ejuma we mami. Ebia unim say Asia we mu na ya there pusi munye hu ejuma we mami. The problem, the biggest problem isn't these monies. The biggest problem is that this thing we are discussing is not known by your average musician. And see, they lose out on all these streams. So that's our second stream. There's a third stream, which is the producer royalties. And a lot of producers complain about not receiving royalties and those ones, but that particular royalty, a royalty you negotiate. And he say, "Omo beye nyom na." I was say who producer no, one artist apart from sika wo tua wo. Either say we sika wo tua wo no, aye abso say bibia ye ne dia, ana say me tua wo sika we, ana say me ji sika we me wia enyom no. Me percentage say so if that is not negotiated, all those rights go to the artist.
Then a producer will know
producer and it say we are artists. Na say one now now we are independent artists. Now one produce. That's another line of revenue for you. And then
so because Kwame Eugene say
exactly
or training
exactly
aside producing
exactly
any other. But I think recently I saw in the news, and I stand to be corrected though, Kwame Eugene say or training my artists because producer more they don't pay him and on Jeffrey.
But that would be
it's an agreement.
Kwame, yes, that would be him.
Say be or the achew.
So yeah, achewa, and I say only work agreement be. I'm sure say by that same statement, you also know that a do how I jiska. It's individual choice. And then there's also what we call synchronization licensing. A Honda Sika wo pa.
Stone boy achieving and say boy.
Nko for jeje pa.
Stone boy only cruise and synchronization.
And no ye say obi ede wonum. Aye advert. And aye de wonum. Aye movie. Ye de wonum aye bibi. That's a lot of money. But a lot of people, they are happy that was a movie without collecting anything. But that's huge monies. And I say, you company be here Mother's Day, we say the one at was here. That's money straight.
Mr. Mami Musa say yes, let me just play the devil's advocate. Whether I know, I don't know. Musa say company be person obey baby. Say be a football team, bio company, bio, and as will be say. Or any events be wa family. And yes, our company na said yes or by approach me. Na meneno aka na me who say na me den ube to yameka na say na ube to me de ama me na wa family. And your company na said ye. Ajimeti na o twen mo ya de ne mani pie wi ansa na me makwa ko chesi company na jibisika na say na
actually your company na said ye. Enti se wanye na se wo wotia. You first sue them for using without authorization. And musika is different from the audio for using the song.
Okay.
And synchronization, no, and also individual rights. And yeah, we are lucky. Now we be say adverts be mu and now movie be near approach you say yeah. That's a lot of money for you. I say when you move away from that right. You have another one which is the music video royalties. And only you will too. You VPL. And some you what the YouTube, ne TikTok, ne norma etria. But when we put our videos, we are busy buying fake streams and fake views so that we will have our numbers up. That will not culminate into any income. But say you bo TV so then ASOC, that's another legal entity. They collect money from TV stations for the use of videos and things like that.
Artists.
Let me tell you. Let me make this remark. I say when people want to be doctors, they go to school and learn for 7 years. When people, for every profession, people learn. Unfortunately, creative arts no one obi person or sorry pen no abem, but there are things to learn. That is what impoverishes people. And yes, and you lucrative. And you lucrative name even us, our own government was not recognizing our contributions to the GDP at some point in time. Until when the Musicians Union of Ghana, I think in 2012 or so, try say is it 2009 or 2012? Try some at Amil's time. They were giving money to go and do research, to come and tell the government the contributions that music makes to Ghana's GDP. But fortunately, we can tell in real time some of the things that music does for us.
Yeah.
And moving away from that right now.
So now music video rights now
yes.
Can be say me busa.
Okay.
I say come we say e be PM United Showbiz sometime be na Bulldog get chemu say nka artists kwa ne papa mu a ne nyuma music bi wo ha music TV stations bi wo ha omoji artists kan sana wo ma body music video. Sa na we say ba yana.
Let's make a distinction here.
Right.
There's a difference between advertising. And they say, you see, you can pay. Some TV stations actually have, and not just in Ghana, everywhere in the world, actually have. You say, oh, person your boy won't ma. Ubetuya say, and that's advertising. But the fact is, say, we to more mabono. And say, the moment they put it on their platform, they have done public performance. They are supposed to pay royalties for doing that. And another organization, friend ASOC. And I say I was home collecting. But last time I checked, they say ASOC they collect for only songs that are that have been for videos that are more than say 90 minutes or 45 minutes or something, which means that they cut out music videos. And so Mete na Gamro so I step in to collect those ones. Into many work I say for that. I know that Gamro is in court with GBC, for instance.
Oh, you're still ruling about
my ruling. I think say yeah.
Okay. That is another place where they make money. And the final and probably what is most important to Ghanaian artists are making money. Performances, merchandise, endorsement deals. Ghana had the obinya endorsement deal and so when yesika bebre, but performances ni merchandise. So I think there was a time where there was a sack had a collection also. Yes,
we have
Kwame Eugene has had Rockstar, Kiddy has had Sugar, and
did Kiddy create?
Yes, there was Sugar
clothing brand.
Yes. There was your friend is saying. Exactly. And these are Rockstar, for instance. When the Rockstar album was released, it was released on pen drives. So that market is still there if we can exploit it.
Tilly, are abokusa? What is nabokana?
Yeah, what can be brilliant? Maybe mathematics and MPIC.
But let's see any add-ons or questions.
I think education basically is what I am getting here, and some. Show that I'm for go online. Some guy we want me Twitter DM or also chat be brave, which means that clearly we are all learning a lot. But I think Okasano can be about Gamro Sikano. There is one if you are registered as a born we log and I'll cast second one be second one no as as long as the song is being played. Now that the stations know the song that are being played, it's our original way now kind of. Why don't they just give it to the artist a year born? Why do you have to come and register? Because that one we are paying for the a year born. So I specific for some artists a year born.
Okay, me pocho. Mami bisa a question. Na wa hay mienu apie me pie misika free to form ya bodu su pie misika free to form ya ba ye identify who as an collect
where identify
exactly. So the fact that this is due this artist, you see the fact say you see enyum no artist way this money is going to this artist does not mean that that artist owns that money. They might have sold the rights. Someone else might own it. And so you come, you bring your codes, you identify that this is yours because it is paid based on ISRC codes and on registration. It is those credentials. And now, until you come and say, okay, me na me this boy no name and these are the credentials, it belongs to me.
Okay.
And then you collect your money.
Me kaisa last time I made incorrect say interview. I check I come in say runner sa patro educate me.
Anya Gamro.
Obebusa, but just as a way of informing your TF1. But as a way of informing your TF1 issue now, so Gamro ni GBC. So Gamro sued GBC 2017 for failing to obtain the required user license for musical works on TV and radio platforms and for not paying royalties since 2012. Now, Wama Kokot, ama yedi assembly court ruling no, a ruling case no in favor of Gamro. Emma court shawamu say, wamobema a year Gamro for 150,000 Ghana cedi in royalty judgment debt. However, GBC has refused to pay the debt, even after 8 years.
That is why they are still in court for enforcement.
Okay.
That is why they are back for enforcement.
Okay, Tilly, Busa wants
yes,
no.
Let me be saying. The last time I made an correct having come about Gamro Mutineso or saying, first of all, say we declare when you crown like what can say when your mamma. You must have proof of you say on where you so. So usually I'm out for record. They say a station where air bombing what you say as proof of said that your song has been used. Now my thing is, I know there's a black box. What my and you Sika claim here is there. Now, if let's say in the last year, I don't have proof that my music was used, but we all know that I had a hit song that radio stations played. How do I claim my money ex facto?
Okay, mpocho. A black box in your room, honey. So, dear me, can say when the streams are done in your name and all that by region, you call when a song doesn't have a clear identification, you say where Diana, and I say it doesn't have ownership of sort. All those monies are put in a black box. That black box, you require the same things that Gamro requires to claim it.
Okay.
So for Gamro to collect the money from the black box and all of those things, I think last week or so they engaged Obi to say uprise. They are trying to engage people to get their codes and whatever, so that they can actually claim some of those monies. Black box, black box, normal bebre. When we say Yokrom ha, about 80 or so % of our songs are in tree. Obi choro nenyum title nyame ana nyame nyame or the ebetro, but oko na say ye stream you can say or enter we be no watch nyame esan say at that moment na only keyboard no na watch yi instead of no. When there is any such disparity, all those monies if it doesn't meet it doesn't tally, all those monies go into black box, so that when you have identified, not with the name of the song, because there are several identifiers of every song. Who register your code until you use those identifiers to now claim the monies in the black box.
Charlie, Ejuma wo yaw wo na manage to say the hottest artist on the block. The hottest, the sexiest,
that's right.
The Zazie of the Gen Zs.
No credit about copper. Say Ghana artist, Nanka Gamro ye Juma pa Nanka Umundi here. Because Ghana was 16 regions. Nyomno, ye bo a yes, ye bo wedding, ye bo pub, ye bo club, ye bo saloon, ye bo restaurant. Inti nanka we mu na etumi akra happy ye ka se eje akra happy nanka scan is kapudo nanka Gamro ye adwuma, but unfortunately no Gamro problem back. In fact my problem in e back up or more structural problem, and the biggest problem of Gamro ana because unse say ye check history of CMO sir, usually no say o start CMO e so build the structure before I bit my operational into France was the oldest CMO structure. In fact, almost start here, you know. It take you almost close to a decade of collecting money and using the Sikano and the building structure. No. Unfortunately for Gamro, Emrana allow you almost set up no. Emrana so say also distributed by 70% of Scano. Emma or members. What that means is Scano Munyano. 30% per aneko omo for administrative stuff. 30% enye enough so be build the structure. And I'm sure say members no so I already set omo be forfeit sikano for be 5 years. I'm be build the structures no. And then number 1. Also to answer the tilibusa say adena ye face can man microphone. Law near very specific. Law ne say say Gamro e collect money members per. Unfortunately, no, because Gamro pe and the only CMO or Ghana no into Jimo Bia. But ideally, Nankese Gamro Jimane members pe plus unso mu jiskana omonje based on nyoma yabo omoje blanket. Ese nyoma yabo omoje a lump sum. Omumbusa say members and members because they need other CMO. Inti enuntina also register with Gamro because man say omum tuamo members. But the minimum say Gamro so sometimes caneba omutimi reach out to musicians, so Skaba Mumbai register. I think the same for Walasi. Any a couple of others. Omoji scan from South Africa for one. Omo from Mokachums. Skasi Aba. But before you to Amokano, moon register nom the forms are call. Inti Gamro dear no Kenya me Nanka Gamro Juma Kayembre because every weekend a year cosono tete for no because omonyom na table we ye
yes akasa na wo kan tete for no jaika
debi David.
Now I see adding.
A yenyum. I say yenyum.
Sir.
A yenyum. Oh, the yenyum. Current youth ben on so abo yenyum.
What is ain't obe born no akopfa tetenyum na can be I nice and this is why I say sexy night to me boy yenyum.
I don't boy yenyum.
Ti me favorite artist ana.
Boy yenyum. Sexy songs. Into this weekend alone anka Gamro Jijiska anka wanka artist be didi afebo. Ana for Ghanaian artists or biggest market enya America, enya UK, Ghana.
Right.
Especially a base here. Our biggest fan base. Stoneboy, Etias, the biggest fan base. Ghana, Shatwale, the same thing. Inti Hana Usika.
Yeah, because a good microphone.
Hana Usika, they concentrated on. Inti even so register for America, UK, cry, young canoe cry. Young name penetrate enough, cry by a significant royalty back and a bay heavy. But Ghana, Hano, bet me 1 million, 2 million. Inti ese you come together, especially members na so many mbre Gamro members many mbre baako krasi omo ayi o musika na ha omo baako say Gamro no bo ni ascend to say I think last time send Stoneboy 4,000 no wa betro Gamro try 4,000 Stoneboy ni ascend 4,000 we mbre 4,000 cedis now booking fee cry say on school fees say na Gamro ascend 4,000 a whole 6 months to 1 year. No, I be tweety. Say, oh, now they are trying. I won't try it, because
say be or compare to other ones. Be about.
They forget it. 4,000 cedis. And your dollar simple cedis. Now we need SM members no more holding executives na accountable any CEO no. Because some more host on be Juma artists. And a Gamro ye Juma ye na ebidi because artist in your sky. I was not many me
All right. It's here for 47 minutes after 3. Peace FM Entertainment Review. Namasugu so amutie. And then yesunya de baby Richmond. Yeah, that's a pass. So I bet you say we na ebiana man for was on betu ya consultation fee. We the amamu free. But before I be sorry, so me catch am say me producer say no was surprised. Me mama was surprised. Mama say it's here for wakwa kofa eneno the sexiest artist on the block. Nice. What you say? Wasade akọ titimrenim yema opin police kaka ni amao eyi e kan say belt kaka na ni atopa jenjen ni e de ahia wo kwan ne so ene mi studio guest amenya no ha eye RC edemo answer na bema RC akasa no mo ma yenko tie nwe na wo die maka chere mo say me MC ya ye bo ade enyum na hu ntia me mo dero enyum no eye kama yenti enyum eni emra studio ni emedi nkomo sesia
night and morning trying to see I call it when me one or two girls they be my boy for me daddy I know for me daddy yeah and you're busy tonight then you made me know agenda for my page put them for your page so no agenda for my page and you're busy tonight and you made me know agenda pulling up is a scene the trip is necessary fine girls for my teeny that they want facility figures on your head that is pretty normal you there for my settings you're my living sober am I around my big mama number I know from daddy yeah and you're busy tonight and you made me know agenda for my page put them for your page so me know agenda for my page and you're busy tonight and you made me know
see you're busy tonight. And you remain in your agenda. This is the latest song on the block right now. I've seen anyway about it too. I don't know why I get super excited about this song. I don't know. Say if it's the nostalgic moment na Sade Bano. Say ya sano. Say ya dear yo. It just freaks me. Let's hear for Munina Mubedi Madan say and you mean my bo pa.
Night and morning, trying to see my car.
And then I'll see Abeka so high and in the battery train come on. I'll see I'm a Kwaba Edinburgh studio.
Hello, Michelle Bia.
Bibi
Aboko now say.
Nyamia dum ye be round come away mu directly. Dear na e she won crime ma we yes anyway because looking at our age, looking at wo generations this is sort of way out of a generation and what people are jamming to now. What is by this song, Dedikai?
I think the first thing that inspired me to go in this direction was it was an experience at Minya club one time. So you call club and I realized we play Amapiano, we play Afrobeat and all of that, and then they played High Life. They started playing High Life, and then everyone was jamming to it, like all the time. I won't say youngies, your club, but we keep on jamming to the High Life, and I'm like, oh, I think there's something in this sound that we can explore as Ghanaians because it looks like yeah. So that's the first thing that really inspired me to take that direction, and also Agenda. The name Agenda is my daddy's nickname.
Hey,
yeah.
And now Papa set the agenda. No,
yeah, my Papa did the agenda. So
okay.
Yeah, he wanted to do music when he was young, but I didn't see, and he's getting old, and I'm like, oh, Charlie, maminya nyumbi na menye de, me fan running no, yeah, no one say yeah.
So I know still not okay. So is it a case to say maybe I will be born you no now Papa and shed and penis so be born you man?
Oh, for him he's been very supportive since I started doing.
Hey, I ran to over catch you. Want to be born you
oh yeah, like supporting me since me share nyum to us or supporting me parent, you know. I say me yes me ye bibion na otia neni agi. Yeah, and also the inspiration of Hinime was Hinime Kojoentry. And na minya inspiration at the year and
wow.
Yeah.
And you know a classic. Me the voice ne that's no. Fortunately or unfortunately for me,
yeah.
And then Crofobino way and you when I the first and you ma ye dear hunu. Minka say me meti a DRC, no.
Yeah.
And you way na min kind of say bring you to Brofunichi na and you when the ma meti wonka. So je obeka say e ba no nyum to ma je na ben pa na obeka say we as a year artist.
Me ye High Life. Yes. I believe say High Life no and yes say senior yet no. So be ha oti High Life to say the na my manager can or cut it na natili hano. High Life nature say I was say a sound titi. I was say evolve. I was say enyini. Ade bia enyini a sa no generation na wo si say no say otia onim say oh ade na enyini abeto me. It shouldn't sound like say titi diana intino. I think say me the me say me High Life because I'm Ghanaian and also I also fuse sounds as well. So me ti reggae bi na ye me da, me ti R&B na ye me da, me the High Life na befra. Na it me keep the originality na me wono. Yes.
Okay. Now what kind of says to say and you way one of biggest song as you say the bars and recognition bro. Yeah. And I said maybe there are other ones why but na ebejidin but we didn't know the face behind the no.
I think me really me EP no and I'm realizing say in my comment section then people be guy we no ye nyum way so it's more like I say a man phone him say I'll see be wo now so nyum way and I make I say what rather be na eni aba ho you say obai obetina se keke ure mu na eni aba ho so I think say nyum we na menya that feedback say menya recognition amafo ehun.
All right, me person yembo one or two of some of our old songs ni bi no na etie for knowing having a feel of the kind of artists are we into nyumbe na be recommend ya ma me say membo
yembo knees and bend
me am it title no na nka pese me hu say knees and bend no eno na den but etie for muma yembo ni entie ni ensamra ye meto ankomo so
Right there, the assignment.
I can do a social media. Also, no, I just still can't baby. I'll go try.
Right there, the assignment. I do associate time. So I pull in the 4 wheels on them. Shout out too nice and link your friends. Don't waste my time, don't cross my life and check. In the drop top, I break confirm. We go do this and this and bend. She got all that. She got all that I need. She got all I need. So fly, she been looking like 16. What's the main giant, our big dreams. Up and so if I'm taking. She don't wanna get a hot broken. But she got it from within.
I see me and kasa me share me tie wonyum na say sexiness na say yo the pa bisa no. Is it, are you branding yourself to be that woman sort of a man toffee and I say brand no saying I will create brand no.
I think it's not I'm not intentionally branding myself. I say me me embody senior metie I say nyumasia eyana o na fofo ebi mo rap ebi mo sing ebi mo yesay nti e ma wo follow sa nyoma no because time ma me wo SHS not me a rapper because I'm out for rap here me friend na me person me yebi and so after me be dream who say as an artist no it's like it's said you hear superhero movies no or Superman say Ocean cape now are different from our office or Spider-Man or Spider-Man attire now are different from Peter Parker and me as an artist no I have to also embody a certain character say me run me artist more and no I'm for the best shaman so I think say sexiness nene a man de iti omo ye hustlers nyom no ye beja amo mo ne so ya ye biama
Yes, I won't pebre. Killy, better na you run common. I see your no hustlers for more hustlers and you want your boy a man in your what you say. Tilly, I mean, this is RC. Yati agenda. We've seen how it's played. Sami Rasta. Who pesa change we are now GRC bosses when ye. Me pesa Sami Rasta tia say. Me na me say me posa you we the ro. That you ja one mommy di diabo bebem. Tilly.
Okay, so I think so I'm very honest with you. Okay. So the problem is that he hasn't done enough to embody that. And yet, men are making and I will ask somebody say, oh, I want to be this. And how you carry yourself, will dressing. And then over the period, no, and over the time, never say, oh, artists way, there are some artists, they are rappers, but we also consider them as lover boys. How a dancehall artist, but you consider as lover boy because of and not just a pay. It's a complete thing package. I was selling my for now, when I see you, I don't get that lover boy yet. But I know that song agenda there. Me who are top video now. We say, oh nah, mupa. So I think you have a lot at topano.
Okay.
I think the mood them top. What that be?
Tena unkomoni na kwa ya tupa live.
When the boy agenda no. You know, elevator will go to panel. Now for them na maka and them moji man we say money. What you are saying?
Yeah.
So I think if that is the brand you want to build or you want to embody or you want to be known for, there's a lot of work because there is a template on how it's done. We've seen the kwabness, we've seen the kiddie. So even though person lover boy, which type of lover boy do you want to be? What you say? You have to.
Ube answer Nana. Which type of lover boy do you want to be?
Mary lover boy.
Mary lover.
Oh, see they?
Mary lover boy.
Hey, yes. I was seeing Gumi.
I would say.
And so if that is your style, keep it like that.
Yeah.
But you should also know, say, once you are known as a lover boy, it means that everything that has got to do with Mba will be precious to you.
Yeah.
Because we brand not a man a bed done more, and so we try to know everything. It has to speak to it. Say me who picture crown that's what being catch me say what to your man. I have to have that soft thing for you. As a lady, me shepherd, that it means that brand it has just translated from the music to your personality. So think about that. But I think the musically too, you haven't done much to get that, and you have a long way to go. But per what I have heard with our agenda, no, if that is the lane you too, I'll bet you any rough, because I like the song. The song is good, and I think you really did justice to him now. You know. How are you crediting Nipana or fan and Yomono? How are you giving him his because in Penifono or Mom Pet? Some for better touch or more classical projects. I work with touch it.
Yeah.
What's also a conversation? How are you giving him his flowers? Or Chinebi? Yeah, it's a original court because I offer Penivinium.
Okay.
So a good one. Yeah. So yeah, as you said, say now say me and body lover boy. No, I think say aspects in different. Say Obi-Wan and a lover boy ni me do what you say. Obi so yeah. I say I reho there, but maybe the any energy for flow, and I'm a kind, and also with the hinime interpolation. Oh yeah, my team yeah justice, yeah BBI with due diligence. Yeah, you could daddy kojo, and my daddy kojo tiasi my, and yeah the two uncrata so no yeah BBI my. Yeah.
Nanka dia me baba was only yaw enam nanka wan koye due diligence said you know obi betina obeka say na why nye due diligence no credit e baako e we say e ka
yeah nti ye bibia pepe bibia kama ye bon pan say ye be hia no na personally ye the na sense o ma
it say as me call YouTube video be hu say meta description what give it credence to Daddy. Bibia Oho.
I produce our record.
My first post on the song, the cover art, I tag in or Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all the best to you. And
thank you.
I know per what I've seen, I think ubetimi push it to where you want to do. It's me aweni na ubulo so amepacho enkodi matem. Because you're penny, you're in this side. What you see, and
you lack personality.
Yes, you lack. And you be cow manager because on until I cow as it is so when you ask them. But I think the project you have dropped, Agenda, is a very nice song. You really did well with it. And how do you feel? People say you have brought the sexiness to High Life. Don't you feel or more how? Because there was sexiness in High Life the other that the lumber and co. How do you feel when people start projecting? Because when some phobia he has added the sex. Meanwhile, High Life is a sexy thing.
I me dream say hold that. Now so I say you dream free so. It's your dream free so now as I bano I refreshing. I say there's nothing new under the sun. I didn't hold that. It just say na you be say aye na aye free. And no na me dream say I'm on for who say me to me aye and yeah me appreciate it and also yeah.
Okay. Now we kasa. Yaw.
Oh, so be say me kasa me bit me kasa.
Kasa.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all that yeah what say ho. I don't when you sure that Samira sabet me ajo position.
Onye krada maka kire no Sami yesterday so tie.
Obe number 2. Number 1 ni die. Wow dear. And in terms of agent style kind it took a couple of months say you be clear interpolation. That's the right way to go. Until me amitimu say ne shira crowd ya to so kra na ama enija be but me de akunya yi so ene na o sie ne mame legend ko dwantwi ene na o sie ne mame nti me extend me condolence hopefully oba officially yes you be hia no maybe you be hu ni videos ni bi I'm hoping but there's more in there's more works yeah hopefully back to back. Tisa kan ya award ni de be gibi. Odi ni de be boy ni P7 platform. You know I my foundation my panty nyame hira mu ina.
Okay. I'll see you be Jawa Mawako, but answer now bekono final words to a year 84 and a will find our motive.
Yes, any NYB can no. Yeah, better Peace FM see. Because even in my comment section, I'm off will be brave. Hey, Peace FM, I'm born you to say as a me Juma ha. And I me repost this comment no was interesting. And me da obia say Ghana me da media houses nyina say me da me management so I say me da me fans obia otie me nyum bia me da na MCI yobo wan kasa Queen na kasa me da wasi obia o support RC bia me da wasi and I'll see you hwe me am on Instagram me on Twitter me on TikTok RC official and RC official RCEEOFFICIAL official RC YouTube and streaming platform bia so me wo intino me da obia se obia agenda tum na e agenda for the year and beyond.
Okay, and therefore say new media and no and I try and say a year season way agenda the latest one a year I'll see Eddie Abba and no
trying to see my call it when me one or two girls and be mine
so kakama me I'll see me better what to kakama me I'll see microphone no on
you're busy tonight then you make me know
hey
agenda for my bed you know put on for your head so me know
hey
agenda for my bed and you're busy tonight then you make me know agenda
asano
agenda show me when I'm pulling up it's a scene
the drip is necessary
fine girls want martini not that deal or facility figures on your head that is pretty normal you there for my session you're not leaving sober am I alright mommy momo number friend me daddy, man of friend me daddy, yeah. And you're busy tonight, and you made me know.
Send him what's in on. And you Ray, I'll see them more agenda. This is a beautiful one. I love this song.
Agenda for my bed, and you're busy tonight, and you made me know.
Okay, therefore, I had a never my crying now. You're the energy media no SC. Yay! Dear, sexy sugar daddy. Bumbo. And therefore, now what person will set this agenda? Now, make I will say, what by your chairman, dear, now what do women, Masema, Mr. Y, a kiss condoms. Kiss condoms near the SETI agenda and Jumano SC. When you kiss condoms, I wape will kiss strawberry gel. Now when you know so a boss not just agenda, no agenda. It is agenda. What is here? Entiana do. One person would do with chairman Sam. One person would do with chairman Sam. Now to me ma obano that were chinning any gia. They say a kiss condom. Every chairman will attest to the fact that happiness starts with a kiss condom. Enti bemena Mr. Wa chairman then you should also start with kiss. Visit the nearest pharmacy and as a chemical shop be a ben will be a will kiss condom. Now fe waje will kiss strawberry gel. Now what they are bustle. Not just the agenda, it's agenda. What is here?
The trip is necessary. Fine girls want martini. That they won't facilitate.
And therefore, me the massive brace and emoji brand me share. Minda a year till you can pass so great sample Richmond Edupok. Sasuna yaw ayabuafo. The producer Salamat, Israel Clinton, meeting the MCI, Yankupon ya Dunia won't let's sign Eshia a year Tuesday, right here on the flip side. Peace 104.3 entertainment review soon. I would see and you mean I would say I would Abrante or about your friend RC. We'll call all the streaming digital platforms. Ubenya and you way now wabo now fay wet see beach now ye come on and you nekoyi banka settle the way feel made our civil set the agenda no so the agenda we dictate what goes on online and what's the live me jamo ho Yankopon ya aduma Tuesday be say share